Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Steel Twins recording studio in the cherry capital of the world, Traverse City, Michigan. Introducing your hosts for this evening, The Package, Andrew Steele. What is up, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and everyone else in between? It's Saturday, and you know what that means. That's right, folks. It is voice acting night, and tonight, I am the one-man dub, as I promised before. So yes, this is the Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. We are about to begin the next episode of this game, entitled Turnabout Reminiscence. We are going back in time 7 years ago when Prosecutor Mile Edgeworth. It's Zion time. Zion the Potato. Thank you so much for joining the chat, my man. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Yes, it is Zion time. So yeah, we are about to follow the prosecutorial debut of Mile Edgeworth, along with his mentor Manfred Von Karma. This is about a trial about the Yatagarasu. Okay, roast senses activated and tingling. Yes, I can feel it. Right. So, So apparently, according to most people, when Mile Edgeworth makes his prosecutorial debut, he was supposed to fill in for another prosecutor that was apparently accused of being the Yatagarasu by the defendant of that trial. And just when we thought that it was going to be a smooth trial, it really isn't, because there is a murder that took place. A murder? In a courthouse? But how? What happened on that day? And it also involves a young Kay Faraday. Well, there's only one way to find out. I don't need a drink. We're gonna go right to live scene. Gonna get right to it. Not gonna waste any time here tonight. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and turn that mic up just a smidge. How's that, everybody? Okay, that's a little better here. All right. Without further ado, let's go. I need some lemonade. Oh, sure. Not a problem, Zion. Some individuals may experience dizziness. Okay. Autosave feature, of course. Checking for add-ons. We're going to continue. New items unlocked in the gallery. We're going to continue. Turnabout Reminiscence beginning. Opening. Lock 'em and load 'em, ladies. It's go time. Nope, not wasting any time. We're going to get right to it. And away we go. Episode 4. Turnabout Reminiscence. Kay Faraday, the young lady who calls herself the second Yatagarasu. The piece of cloth that she conjured up has taken me back to many years ago. Get him way closer to me a little bit. 7 years earlier. Listen to that music. Gotta love it. Yeah, that's right. I did it. I killed the guy. But it was the great thief Yatagarasu that told me to do it. Objection.
Objection. I asked the defendant, what exactly are you trying to hide?
Don't you get it? I know the true identity of the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu is the man standing over there at the prosecutor's bench. Are you saying that I'm the Yatagarasu? Don't you dare deny it! You told me to kill him when you snuck into the embassy! Row.
Are you claiming that Mr. Faraday is a Yanagarasa?
That's exactly the objection. Mr. Rell, I think we've heard just about enough out of you. Your Honor, please listen to me. I'm telling the truth. You gotta believe me! Holy gumshoe, he looks exactly like the great detective. In accordance with the defendant's accusation, a new prosecutor shall be called to replace Mr. Faraday. This court will be in recess until the new prosecutor is ready. Archibald! Yeah! So yeah, it really wasn't... Well, okay. Here we are. September 10th, 3:20 p.m. District Court, 3rd floor lobby. It's almost time. 1 minute. It's almost time for me to enter the courtroom. And so it is that my first assignment as a prosecutor will be as a replacement for a prosecutor who has been accused by the defendant.
Edgeworth?
Huh. Sir.
Have you read over all of the documents regarding this trial?
Yes, sir. I memorized everything there is to know.
Very good. The paperwork for the prosecutor substitution is just about complete. Edgeworth, always bear in mind that as your mentor, I, Manfred Von Karma, will accept nothing short of perfection.
I think Edgeworth was like in his 20s at the time of this case. Yeah, I think so too. I understand, sir. Do I have the court record? Yeah, let's take a look at the court record. Manfred Von Karma, he is age 60. My mentor, who has never known defeat in 35 years, legendary prosecutor. That's all I need. For proof my profession, my mentor said it was more chic to keep it in my pocket. To have the chance to stand in court at such an early stage in my career, I am honored and proud.
As I have watched over your studies, I am giving you this very rare chance. Prove yourself. Crush the defendant's pathetic lies into oblivion.
Yes, sir. That such a legendary prosecutor will be watching and judging my performance. I have to be perfect in every way.
Today's trial should have ended in just 1 minute.
Because the defendant was picked up by the security camera, correct?
Exactly. The killer had the gall to say that he only killed because he was instructed to do so. Even more outrageous is his claim that the case prosecutor, Manfred Faraday, gave the order. Faraday is such a fool. He's been cornered by his very own prey.
Sir, are you an acquaintance of Mr. Manfred Faraday?
He is a pathetic man who speaks nothing but nonsense.
Nonsense?
He once tried to explain to me a way of punishing those who cannot be brought to court.
Those who cannot be brought to court? That is nonsense, for no man is above the law.
Well, there are always a few exceptions. However, there is no reason to even deal with such individuals. A prosecutor is a guardian of the court, one with no obligation to outside matters.
Thus, there is no reason to deal with such individuals, I see.
Edgeworth, disgracing yourself as Faraday has... Edgeworth, disgracing yourself as Faraday has will not be forgiven.
Have no fear. I will not let you down, sir. Manfred looks like he writes his hand as a speech impediment. In place of the accused prosecutor Manfred Faraday, I'll prove the defendant's guilt.
Very good. I've secured an hour of recess for you to prepare to do just that. Show them all the power of Von Karma.
Today's trial.
So, have you achieved a firm understanding of the case?
Yes, sir. I have memorized everything that is written down in the case files.
Well then, explain the case to me. I want to see if you really know what you are talking about.
Understood. A murder was committed on September 8th in front of the Kodofian embassy. The victim, Mr. Deed Mann, was a staff member at the embassy. The defendant in this case, Mr. Mac Rell, was held for questioning the night of the incident as he was deemed suspicious. I show you the power of my goddamn fist, Von Karma! Yep. He was quickly placed under arrest for possession of the murder weapon, a gun. Furthermore, at the time of the murder, the great thief, Yatagarasu, had successfully infiltrated the Kodofian embassy as well. At first, Rell claimed that he himself was the Yatagarasu, but that he did not kill Deed Mann. I wonder what he expected to gain from such a desperate lie.
It's possible that he wants to go down while in the spotlight if he is found guilty. There truly is no limit to people's inanity. But I digress. Continue, Edgeworth.
Yes, sir. During the trial, the prosecution presented the security footage that captured the murder. The footage clearly showed Mr. Rell as the murderer.
The act of Mr. Rell firing the gun could be clearly seen from the visitors' gallery.
Upon seeing that, the defendant retracted his statement and admitted to the murder. I'm guessing that this was after DL6 because at that time Miles was a kid, so Von Karma had to have been a young adult when he murdered Gregory Edgeworth. You know, yeah, it is. It is after DL6. And speaking of DL6, on the next game, we're gonna cover another incident that led to the DL6 incident. Can't wait for that one. I did it because I was told to by the real Yatagarasu Burned Faraday.
That sounds about right. However, you've forgotten one thing.
Holy what? Maybe we should just wait until the next game, so just to find out for sure, but...
While this may appear to simply be the murder of a Kodofian embassy staff member, people are actually referring to it as the second KG-8 incident.
The second KG-8 incident? I'm very sorry, sir. I fear I failed to study hard enough.
Well, even among the police, it's an information that only a select few are privy to.
Could you please enlighten me, sir? Second KG-8 incident. Sir, what do you mean by the second KG-8 incident?
In order for me to tell you that, you must first learn about the original case. Take a look at these documents.
This is a 3-year-old newspaper. KG-8 incident overview data jotted down in my organizer. Reference materials regarding the KG-8 incident. I received them from my mentor.
You have heard of the Amano Group scandal before, correct?
Oh, okay. I like how as soon as Miles did exclaim, you read my chat, so that was perfect timed. Yes, I have. The secretary of Ernest Amano, the Amano Group's director, was arrested under suspicion of smuggling.
Correct. CCU was an employee of the Amano Group and the sole witness to the smuggling operation. It was she who brought the crime to light. However, Miss Yu was silenced before she could testify in court.
Wasn't a Kodofian embassy staff member arrested for the murder?
Yes, a Kodofian by the name of Manny Kochin was the suspect. However, due to lack of evidence, the case went unresolved.
Lack of evidence?
Ha! If only I was in charge of... Ha! If only I was in charge of the case, I would have done everything in my power to prove his guilt.
To make sure that all criminals are found guilty, my mentor really is dedicated.
Faraday was the prosecutor on the case then, and he was as pathetic as ever.
Mr. Faraday was in charge of the KG-8 incident as well?
That's right. And now, once again, the victim of the case you are currently assigned to was someone who was scheduled to testify against that smuggling organization.
Jesus, Huckleberry Christ. Yeah, it's getting interesting there, folks. And just like last time, the victim was murdered right before he was to testify.
You're catching on. The victim was murdered just before his day in court against the smuggling organization. Events are occurring almost exactly the same way as they did in the KG-8 incident.
So that's why it's being called the second KG-8 incident?
Yes. Yet there is one difference between the two incidents.
What would that be?
The so-called noble thief that is sending everyone into an uproar. The great thief, Yadagarasu.
Yadagarasu? I better find out more. Yadagarasu. Oops. Okay, sorry about that. The Steel Twins game. Hey, yo, been a while. I see you having to deal with him again. I hate him so much, Manfred. Miles has so much trauma because of him. Franzi, too, but it's more subtle. Sorry, Zion. I clicked the wrong decision, and I'm doing this more dialogue all over again. So I'm gonna have to hurry up and get to that one thing. What? Do I hear what's his face from Easy Peasy? Wait. Wait a second. Are you Easy Peasy? I don't follow. Digivixen. Thank you for following the chat, by the way. Okay, Yadagarasu. If it is true that the Yadagarasu showed up at the Kodofian embassy, what could he or she have been after?
No doubt to steal any suspicious accounting records and release them publicly. Or more likely, to steal secrets from the Kodofian embassy itself, since the item that the Yadagarasu stole from there was sent to the police.
Excuse me, I got gas a little bit. Or MK. Right. What was it that the Yadagarasu sent to the police?
I don't know the details. Anything related to the Yadagarasu is getting this top secret treatment.
I forgot which Reddit channel it was. Do I hear what's his face from this guy? Do you mean me or somebody else?
Still, I find it very ironic. By returning the stolen item to the police, it was proof positive that the Yadagarasu had infiltrated the embassy on the same day the staff member was killed. Criminals have a way of incriminating themselves, wouldn't you say?
That would have to be the first time the Yadagarasu has left evidence behind, correct? So it looks like a dude that has giant cancerous growth protruding from his midsection. Well, it must have been the one wing from like a raven's wing or something.
Yes, indeed. If you wish to learn more about the Yadagarasu, then I suggest you ask Faraday.
Mr. Faraday?
He happens to be the prosecutor in charge of the Yadagarasu case as well.
He's the prosecutor in charge of both the KG-8 incident and the Yadagarasu case? Mr. Faraday really has a lot on his plate.
What is it, little girl?
You're scary, mister.
Did you need something?
I want to trade these coins with you.
A fistful of dimes, quarters, and pennies, but it looks like you've exactly $1. Is this what you want?
Thanks. That's exactly what I needed.
Oh, is that? Could that child be here to watch the trial?
How disrespectful for a child like that to be running around inside the courthouse.
Yes, you, but no, you're not him. Never mind. Just notice you're in the corner, unless you've grown facial hair recently. Baby Kay. Yeah, it's baby Kay Faraday. She's 10 years old at the time.
Does no one have respect for this country's judicial system anymore?
Oh boy. The paperwork for the prosecutor substitution is complete.
Why, do you even know how much time there is left before the trial resumes?
I'm so sorry.
I can have you mop up this courthouse instead of protecting it in an instant.
She's so cute. Yeah, she is. It's no bother, sir. Not being completely prepared could prove to be a perfect handicap for me.
A proud one you are. You had better collect the evidence from Faraday and prepare yourself. It's time for your debut, Edgeworth.
She's so... yeah. All right, September 10th, 4 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. All rise. Listen to that music.
Just what is going on? Why isn't Faraday here yet? How is it possible that the defense is not prepared yet either?
Bailiff, where is Mr. Faraday? I'm not sure. I wasn't really paying attention. All rise. The Honorable Judge presiding. Ah, you must be the one Mr. Von Karma recommended. I hear this will be your first trial. I look forward to seeing how you perform. Oh, by the way, was there someone celebrating a birthday during the recess? I could have sworn that I heard a popcorn off. Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson... Sir, it looks like the trial's about to resume. However...
Yes, it will be all but impossible to prove the witness a liar without the evidence from Faraday. What is that blasted buffoon up to?
It's an emergency, sirs! Silence!
There shall be no yelling in this sacred hall of law. Bailiff, remove that man from this courtroom at once!
Please, wait! You have to listen to me, Gumshoe! Ah, now I remember. You sound like a lot like Damian Lee. I think his name was. Damian Lee. Please, wait! You have to listen to me! There's an emergency! Defendant lobby number 2, with Mr. Faraday and the defendant, the two of them, they're both dead, Your Honor. Whoa. Whoa. What? What? What in the world is happening? September 10th, District Court, hallway. Stay back. Stay back. Ugh. No one's allowed in the crime scene. Period. Just who does this oddball think he is?
This is becoming quite the hotspot.
Isn't she Mr. Rell's defense attorney? Yeah, you! No running in the hallway, pal. And who are you to tell me what to do? I'll never find out what's going on like this. It's time for some civil discourse. And you are... Who, me? Hey, pal. It's common courtesy to tell someone your name first before asking theirs. Ugh. Point taken. My name is Mile Edgeworth. I am a district prosecutor. A prosecutor? I've never seen a prosecutor as young as you, pal. I've told you my name. Now, would you mind telling me yours? Detective Dick Gumshoe. And just recently, I achieved my dream of becoming a detective. More than a dream, it's what I was born to do. Wait, maybe I should check and make sure I'm not really in some crazy dream first. What kind of 1950s Willem Dafoe, Steve Buscemi detective is that, old man? This detective is entirely too excited to be at a murder scene. Alright, crime scene. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling me what you know about the incident? Yeah, you know that I don't have to tell you anything, right? I know that, but it would behoove you to fill me in on what you know. Well, you're a proud one for such a youngster, aren't you? Well, anyway, Detective Bat isn't the one in charge, so you're just gonna have to ask him for all the details, okay? As for me, I was guarding the door to defendant lobby number 2. So you were on guard detail. Did you notice anything strange while you were on duty? Well, I freaked out when I heard a gunshot, and then I kind of froze. You're a detective, and a measly gunshot scared you that much? Then again, I can hardly claim to not know what it's like to hear the one at close range. Then Detective Bad came running to the scene. We went into lobby number 2 together, and both men were lying there, dead. Is that everything? Yeah, that's it. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. I always buy and eat Swiss rolls for this case. Yummy. Interesting. Other than a gunshot, he didn't hear a single sound of commotion. Detective Gumshoe's testimony jotted down to my organizer. Was on the hall on guard duty. Other than gunshot, didn't hear a sign of struggle. Do you have any insight on this, Detective Gumshoe? Well, as a detective, I'd rather see something that is actually related to the case, pal. And here I thought this was related enough. Not quite. Young Edgy is so handsome, no wonder he has throngs of women frothing with desire for him. Well, that's true. What else is there? Detective Gumshoe's testimony, yeah, of course. Let's see what... Excuse me, but who are you? Heck, younger Gummy is kind of a good-looking chap of a himbo. Detective Tyrell Bad. Homicide. I was informed of the situation and came as quickly as possible. So how did you arrive and inspect the body before me? Faraday requested for me to testify in the trial. Plain and simple. Mr. Faraday requested that you be here? Crime scene. I've already contacted HQ about the situation. I've got nothing to say to you, kid. Kid? I'm Mr. Faraday's substitute in today's trial. Therefore, I insist that you update me on the situation. I can't back down here. I have a right to know. Do I need to teach you a thing or two about how to talk to adults, kid? Is he threatening me? Is he going for his gun? What? It's just a mirror. How dare he trick me like that? Faraday was stabbed to death with some kind of blade, and he had a gun in his hand. The other man, Mr. Mackrell, was shot and killed. He was found holding a bloody knife in his hand. Was there anyone else who went into the defendant lobby number 2? Yeah, that big lug over there. His name's Gumshoe. He was in charge of guarding the place. Holy mackerel. Lovely. Perfectly. He's claiming that no one else entered the room. If that's the case, then they must have killed each other, correct? Maybe. Such impudence. This guy's really testing my patience. Trial witness. Why was I not informed that you were going to testify in court? Homicides aren't my only gig. The Yatagarasu case is also one of my assignments. So you were called upon to comment on the Yatagarasu's characteristics in order to assess if Mr. Faraday really was a Yatagarasu or not. Well, looks like you just might have a brain after all on that head of yours, son. Son? I'm not your son, Pops. Detective Bad, I'd like to ask you about this piece of evidence. Could you please pay attention?
I'm listening, but I've got nothing to say. End of story.
Very well. Why didn't you say that in the first place? Was on the hall and guard duty. Under gunshot, didn't hear a sign of struggle. No, that's not gonna work. Even Bad kind of gives Silver Fox hardboiled detective vibes. Yeah. What about you, young lady? Do you have a minute?
You know, I'm not really into talking to people I don't know, especially at a time like this.
I apologize for not introducing myself before bothering you. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I was to take Mr. Faraday's place in court.
Edgeworth, huh? Never heard of you. So Faraday's substitute is a newbie, huh?
I'll have you know, madam, that I studied under Manfred Von Karma. Do not take me for some naive novice. Huh?
Do not take me for some naive novice. So you're a student of Von Karma. I should have. Those clothes are a dead giveaway.
Stop right there! These are the garments of one who gallantly presents the facts!
Thanks for the great laugh, but try not to make me laugh so much, okay?
I wasn't trying to do anything of the sort.
Just kidding. I was just goofing around. By the way, do you know who I am? My name is Callisto Yu. And if you're telling the truth, then we are about to go head-to-head in court.
But of course. I've heard much about you, Miss Yu. No, and that's special. How? No, those are garments of a clown.
Of course, I've never heard much about you. You're a regular Shakespeare.
Did I say something funny? All right, crime scene. I'd like you to update me on the situation.
I don't really know anything. Why don't you try talking to those detectives over there?
If that's the case, then why are you here? What's so funny?
It's just that the way you speak is so tactless. The person I was going against in court until only a little while ago was just murdered. It's not like I could go back into the courtroom pretending as though nothing happened.
That's a good point. I apologize for asking such an insensitive question. She has a big forehead.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's you. There's someone here who wishes to see you.
Who is it?
A Canovian embassy staff member by the name of Manny Cochin. What's going on? Detective Bad and Miss Yu's moods just changed all of a sudden. Wait a second. Wasn't Manny Cochin?
I'll be right there.
It's nice to see you again, Miss Yu.
Why are you here? I have no desire to ever see you again.
No. Actually, would you mind stepping outside for a brief chat?
Fine, let's go.
Bad?
Von Karma, it's been a long time.
I knew you would show up. You usually do when the Yaragrosso is involved, and I see this case is no exception.
Do you know Detective Bad, sir?
Yes, he's like an old bloodhound that never leaves the scene of a crime. If only he would get a promotion and move on.
It's the crime scene where a detective is most useful and effective.
She has a big forehead because she has a big brain. I feel like you did it. I feel like that too.
It's not like I don't know that. Moving on though, Bad. The man that I just passed by, was he not the suspect from the KG-8 incident?
So I was right.
Just what is this man doing wandering around here? That Faraday, I can't believe he let such an easy catch get away! Imbecile! I would have proved his guilt in 3 minutes!
Von Karma, I think you said enough for now. It's in poor taste to speak like that about the departed.
Very well. Back on topic. I'm placing Edgeworth in charge of the investigation here.
Objection!
Eisbruch! Papa, how can you place him in charge? Francisca, what are you doing here? Oh, hell, yep, it's Franzi. I'm here for some vacation for Toast. Francisca Von Karma. So she is here on vacation from Germany. She is the daughter of Manfred Von Karma and a student of his who is also junior to me. You're the one who's junior to me, and don't you forget it! You're not conveniently avoiding the bar examination, are you? If you were able to pass, then I'll have absolutely no troubles at all. Francie, my baby girl. I'll never allow myself to lose to you. Never! Why does she always have to be this competitive? Anyway, Papa, are you really assigning Mile Edgeworth to cover the case? I should take that stick and I should take that stick with it. See how you like it.
Yes, I am. Why do you ask?
Well, you know, I'm close to becoming a prosecutor myself. And I am 100% confident that I can do a better job than him. That's just like Francisca. She has no problem bad-mouthing someone right in front of them.
Bad?
Yeah?
These two will be conducting the investigation.
What? You want me to let both of these kids loose on the crime scene?
This is a perfect opportunity for them to work on their prosecutorial skills.
A crime scene is not a place for children to be messing around in.
I'm the one with authority over this crime scene, Bad, and I will not tolerate complaining. Edgeworth, Francisca, I leave this case to the 2 of you.
Understood, sir. Yes, Papa.
I'll go take care of the paperwork now. Remember, I'll accept nothing but a perfect report from the both of you. Do not disappoint me.
You will tolerate my fist being locked up your nose.
Hold up, Von Karma. I still haven't agreed to this.
Mile Edgeworth. It's been quite some time, Francisca. This will be the perfect chance for us to see which of us is truly worthy of the Von Karma name. Would it kill you to at least say hello? Long time no see. Very good. Just because you became a prosecutor first doesn't mean you can act all proud. Yeah. She hasn't changed a bit. Mile Edgeworth. As if to say, we shall see which one of us is worthy of the Von Karma name.
For crying out loud, I've been reduced to a babysitter.
Oh boy. Looks like Mr. Von Karma was successful in convincing the detective. That's just like him. He never fails. Now, I appreciate it if you could quickly run me through the facts, Detective Bad.
You're better off checking things out on your own.
Very well. Seems like getting help from Detective Bad will be a most arduous task. December 10th, 4:15 p.m., District Court. Defendant Lobby number 2. Is the only real explanation that they killed each other simultaneously? Miles Edgeworth, you should listen to someone until you're finished talking. What are you talking about? About the double murder hell? I'll only say it one more time. This is a competition to see who is truly worthy of the Von Karma name. A competition? The person that figures out the truth first wins. So the person who doesn't discover the truth is a dishonor to the name? Exactly! I don't care that you became a prosecutor before me. I simply refuse to hear any more foolish things come from your foolish mouth. Fine. Whatever makes you happy. Can I take that as you accepting my challenge? Once again, whatever makes you happy. Huh. Well then, let's begin the investigation, shall we? I'm going to find the perfect evidence and quickly present it like the professional I am. Competing to discover the truth behind a crime. How delightfully childish. Franny, you're already a dishonor to the name. You kids, over there, hold it. Kid! Ha! Sir, you're right, Miles. He just called you a kid. I said kids, kid. How dare you call me a kid as well? I'll do what I please, but I won't allow you to cause a ruckus on my crime scene. That really makes this end scene in JFA hit different. Hey, big guy, you're gonna watch over these two. Yes, sir, Detective Bad, sir. Now do what I say from now on, kids, okay? You better not get in our race, Coffee. You'll feel the bite of my rib if you do. Yeah, then you, prosecutor boy. Let's get your investigation started already, all right? Franny is such a fanny. Great. Now even that detective is treating me like a child. All right, it's time to get investigating. Get a move on, prosecutor boy. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and if you were to call me prosecutor boy one more time, it will be my duty as a prosecutor to look into your monthly salary. Her new name is Fanny. What? What would you do with my salary after you saw how much it was? That's up to you now, isn't it? Really? Sounds good, pal. He's so naive. Begin investigation. Defendant lobby number 2. Detective Bad, may I have a word with you? What is it? It appears that both the knife and a gun were used as murder weapons. Yeah, it does. That leads us to our first question of the investigation. Where did the men acquire the weapons? The gun was inside of Faraday's bag. It was a piece of evidence that was presented in the trial earlier today. It was used to kill the Kadofian embassy staff member. But I never heard anything about the knife. Mr. Rao was being held by the police. There's no way he could have brought it in. Which means it's possible that Faraday had the knife on him from the start as well. Could it have been a piece of evidence that had yet to be presented? But then, why doesn't Detective Bad know about it? Wait, what if... It's possible that Mr. Faraday brought the knife in under the guise of prosecutorial evidence. He could have then brought it out and attacked Mr. Rell with it. He then brought it out. It's possible that Mr. Faraday brought the knife in under the guise of prosecutorial evidence. He could have then brought it out and attacked Mr. Rell with it. Maybe you got a brain in there after all, kid. Is he gonna treat me like a child forever? It looks like Mr. Faraday attacked Mr. Rell first, who then counterattacked. That's the only logical conclusion you can draw from a scene like this. Not yet. I feel that it's much too early to be drawing conclusions already. I must first find conclusive evidence so as to protect the honor of the Von Karma name. Alright, let's see. Why are there plastic bags scattered all around? Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal. I know that much, detective. You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal? Normally, I'd be happy when someone compliments me, but when it's this guy... Anyway, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between the two men? No, not yet. Looks like Mr. Faraday fell on top of Mr. Rell. At first glance, it seems like that they must have killed each other. However, using logic, the only logical conclusion is, aha! What was that outburst for? It could have been a struggle. My detective's instinct, it just hit me real hard. I like this case, is what it gives Gummy's staunch loyalty to Edgy and Frenzy a lot more sense. My detective's instinct just hit me real hard. It was Mr. Rell that fell first, see? You don't need a detective's instinct for that. It's common sense. But I suppose we won't know much more than that until after I examine the bodies. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. All right, let's see. Gum Dig Shoe, whoever that person may be, a new follower. Thanks for following the stream, my man. Thanks for following the Twitch page, my man. Mr. Faraday, how ironic is it for him to lose his life in the courthouse? Yeah, why did it have to be like that? Why did it have to be like this? I don't know what to say. I can't believe this happened while I was on watch, pal. Rather than beating yourself up, you should spend your time continuing the investigation. Didn't you become a detective in order to solve crimes? Yeah? Then get back to work. Find out the cause of his murder. Right, I'm on it, pal. Looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding the gun in his right hand. Oh, sorry. It looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding the gun in his right hand. So he shot Mr. Rell and then fell on top of him while still gripping onto the gun? I guess that does seem kind of strange, huh? I mean, why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun? It's not exactly rocket science. Even I know how to pull the trigger. Although I doubt I'll ever need to use one. Hope I never have to fire a gun either, pal. But it sure does look cool to hold a gun in your hands. It appears that the police's screening procedures need a thorough review. Anyway, I should jot down some notes about the handgun in Mr. Faraday's hand. Was Faraday's evidence from embassy staff killing case was found in his hand. Looks like Mr. Rell died with a knife in his hand. There's some blood stuck on it. Then he must have used this as a weapon. Yep, no doubt about it. Yet you did get accused of firing a gun at your own pappy. Was Mr. Faraday carrying this on his personage? Did he bring this as a piece of evidence for the trial? Or did he bring it with a very different intention in mind? I should jot some notes down about it. I believe Faraday brought this as evidence. It was found in Rell's hand. First, he killed a Kodofian embassy staff member, then he was murdered himself. And this guy wasn't exactly an angel, you know. Oh, what makes you say that? Well, he's been hauled into the precinct several times for theft and assault, pal. So yeah, he's definitely the type to have committed a murder or two. Well, he did admit to killing Mr. Deed Man. Hey, good point, pal. I knew my detective's intuition was telling me something. Detective's intuition? Yep, you know about it. It's a special feeling that all We don't have time for this conversation right now. Let's return to the investigation. What else is there? Why are there plastic bags scattered all around? Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal. I know that much, detective. You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal? Normally, I'd be happy when someone compliments me more when it's this guy. Anyway, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between the two men? I already said that. His hand is all black down there. See? His hand is all black down here, see? I wonder what it could be. If you look closely, this blotching pattern resembles an ink stain. Mr. Faraday has ink on his left hand. Why is there ink on such a place anyway? An ink stain? Yes, I usually get ink in my own hand when I use my feather pen. Feather pen? I've never seen one before. Surely you aren't just making it up, pal. Mr. Rell's cause of death was from being shot, correct? That's what we think, but it's hard to tell with him lying face down. Death is bad enough, but it's truly lamentable that someone would try to hide the truth. Are you sure he was trying to hide something? I can't confirm Mr. Rel's cause of death with his body positioned like that. Detective Bad, I'd like to examine the bodies in further detail, if possible.
Francis, you're not able to form a theory with them the way they are?
I believe an examination of the bodies is vital to finding the perfect evidence. Don't you?
I suppose you do have a point. Well, hurry up and get on with it.
Labby,
Yes, sir. We've taken enough photos of the scene, sir.
and there you have it.
Do you not approve?
Of course not.
What?
Investigation of a crime scene is the work of a detective, so don't touch a thing. Hey, big fella, turn over the bodies for me, will ya?
Okay. Please forgive me, Mr. Faraday, sir.
Gumshoe, do not get emotionally involved. Remember, you're a detective.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. What's this? There's something in his breast pocket. It's a fountain pen. Oh, a fountain pen in Mr. Faraday's pocket is an especially nice nib. Yeah, you know, I always keep a pencil behind my ear. It's because Detective Bad is always telling me, you should always write your name on everything you own. Yes, somehow you do strike me as quite a forgetful individual. Well, time for some logic. Fountain pen in his pocket, ink stain. Could there be a connection? Aha! That splotch on Mr. Faraday's hand. I wonder if it might be the ink from his fountain pen. Oh, let's ask the lab guy. Detective Gumshoe, I confirm that the substance on Mr. Faraday's hand is the ink from his fountain pen. I see. Good work. I've always wanted to say that, even if it was just one time in my life. If Mr. Faraday wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand, I think it's fair to assume he was left-handed. It appears that Mr. Faraday's pen is very important to our case as well. Okay, if you say so, pal. Mr. Faraday's fountain pen, J data, jotted down on my organizer. Fountain pen used by the left-handed Faraday. Looks like it has a quality nib. Alright, let's take a look at this. There's a knife on this chest here, see? I wonder if the wood matches the knife Mr. Rell is holding.
Labby,
Yes, sir. Verifying now, sir.
make it quick.
From the look of things, one could deduce that the knife Mr. Rell is holding is what killed Mr. Faraday. It looks like Mr. Faraday was stabbed with this knife that Mr. Rell is holding. Ouch! What's wrong, detective? My stomach started to hurt from just thinking about being stabbed. Just keep your mind on the case, all right? Shot in the chest. It takes some guts to fire a gun in a courthouse. I mean, I've been a detective for a whole week, and I still haven't fired a single round yet. There aren't any burn marks on his clothes. That must mean... Wait, burn marks? A round grows very hot as it is discharged from a firearm. Therefore, burn marks are usually left when the shot is fired from point-blank range. Ergo, Mr. Rell must have been shot from at least a yard or two away. Handgun data updated my organizer. Found in Faraday's hand, bullet that killed Rell was fired from a few yards away. You sure do know a bunch of neat stuff for your age, pal. Apparently, this detective has much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial. Let us now try to understand how the two men died. First, Mr. Faraday took the gun and the knife out from today's trial evidence. Then he aimed the gun at Mr. Rell and fired. However, Mr. Rell managed to grab the knife and counter Mr. Faraday while being shot. Then the two men fell together where they stood. That is my theory in any case. What a crazy way to go! Still, something about that explanation just doesn't seem right. Crime scene notes jotted down on my organizer. Notes pertaining to Burn, Faraday, and Mackrell. I believe I now have a firmer grasp on what happened here. There are some plastic bags stacked up on the table. There's a tea set too, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of a disturbance. Yeah, the table's all neat and tidy. Maybe they were super quiet in their scuffle. After all, I didn't hear anything from out in the hallway, you know. Maybe the plastic bags scattered on the floor are throwing us off. Well, we'll see what happens. Neat and tidy to you, plastic bags strewn about. There is a very tidy pile of plastic bags on the table, and yet a portion of them wound up scattered on the floor as well. It's not likely that the ones on the floor were knocked over during a struggle, in which case, might there not be another explanation as to how they got there? Another reason? I believe it's possible that the blood on the outside of the bag is related somehow. Yeah, please get that blood away from me, pal. Detective Gumshoe, whose blood is on this bag? Hold on, let me ask the lab guy. All right, please hurry. Wait till you get a load of this, pal. It's Mr. Faraday's. Oh, and the technician said they didn't find anything else on or in the bag either. It would appear that this bag is a very important piece of evidence. Okay, if you say so, I leave it in your hands, pal. Plastic bag dated, jotted down in my organizer. One of the bags strewn on the floor of lobby number 2. It has Faraday's blood on it.
I see.
Did you figure something out?
This is a competition, Miles, and as such, I'd appreciate it if you didn't talk to me.
As you wish. Detective Bad, do you have any thoughts on the case? I believe this bag is a piece of evidence. No shit!
Faraday and Rel, it looks like they kill each other to me. Although, there are a few things that just don't seem right.
And what would they be?
Why don't you try thinking on your own phone first before you bother me, boy?
Whoa! Now I've been downgraded to just boy? Oh boy. What's this? The window is open and there's a fresh flowery scent in the air. Ugh, the flowers in the garden down there are so gross and ghastly. You think maybe you could try offering something useful for a change? Well, at least there's no way someone escaped through this window, pal. They wouldn't wake up and smell the flowers after a fall from the 3rd floor. Are you willfully ignoring the fact that there are also iron bars on the windows? Interesting. Yeah, I guess there's that too. Either way, no one could get through these windows, right? They thought of everything when they were designing this courthouse. Very nice. Oh, I already checked that. There's some stuff in the bag. There's some stuff in the bag, pal. I suppose this was Mr. Faraday's bag. It's probably the trial evidence I was supposed to collect from him. This is the evidence? Yeah, I better not touch it. I'll leave prints on it. Do you just not pay attention to anything you do? Wait a minute. I thought I saw something like... This decorative plant's foliage is quite nice. It's actually soothing to be around it. Perhaps I should purchase one for my room. What? I already checked this area earlier, but it never hurts to take another look. Move somewhere. Mr. Faraday is holding a gun in his right hand. That's the one Mr. Rel got blown away by, right?
Labby, your answer.
Yes, sir. We found that the ballistic markings do match that gun. Ballistic markings are the figurative fingerprints a gun leaves on a bullet when fired. Every gun leaves its own unique ballistic markings. Therefore, by looking at the markings on a bullet, you can tell which gun it came from. Yeah, that's it. Of course, I already knew all about that, pal. Gumshoe was a new type of dumb.
Maybe it'd be better off going back to the academy.
Come on, sir. Cut me some slack, will ya? So the bullet that was fired from this gun is what felled Mr. Rell. No. There's gotta be something else here. Is there some logic? Yeah, pal? Notice anything? This is my first time setting foot inside the courthouse. Who would have thought it'd be for my first case as a detective? But you know, I get the feeling I'll be coming here a lot more in the future. As a suspect detective? Oh my goodness, Flying Eagle, we just got raided! Yay! How about that? Bird raid, open up! Bird raid, open up! Thank you so much for the raid. Got 7 viewers. That is awesome. As a suspect detective? Of course not, pal. Anyway, this lobby's actually pretty luxurious. I mean, for a defendant's lobby, it's got a pretty big TV. Oh, and there's that tea set on the table over there. Bet you didn't know that I like to drink tea. Wow, this one was really decked out. If it means spending time in here, maybe being a suspect isn't such a bad thing after all. I'm beginning to suspect that leaving this detective in charge of anything might be bad. But he is right. This room is rather well furnished. And somewhere in this room, the truth is slumbering. It's time to find it and give it a wake-up call. Damn right, son. Let's look at the TV. Whoa! What is it, Detective Gumshoe? My TV at home is so tiny compared to this one, pal. Then perhaps you should purchase a more normal-sized television like this one. Oh, let me see here. Wow, this thing is huge. Way too noisy.
You're the noisy one, Coffee.
Don't touch it. You'll get your fingerprints all over it.
But I didn't touch it.
Preservation of the crime scene is the foundation of detective work.
I'm gonna go. Thanks, Zion. Thanks for sticking around, even if it's for like an hour or so, man. You do you, boo-boo. The foundation, huh? Sounds like something the rookie here needs to shore up on. I guess there's not much left to investigate, huh? They really did kill each other. No, we can't conclude that quite yet. There's still something I find very peculiar here. The theory that they simply killed one another is too simplistic in this case. In fact, there's actually a contradiction that shows there is another possibility. No way, pal. Really? I suppose I will just have to show you the contradiction in this crime scene. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Wait, so there were no burn marks on this one. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Hope you have a great fun stream, guard. Gotta take a rest after our stream. Ace Attorney is a great game. You bet it is, Flying Eagle. And thank you so much for the raid. It's gotta be this. Found in Faraday's hand. Bullet that killed Rell was fired from a few yards away. Let's see. Is it this? Eureka! There is a clear contradiction with the evidence here in this spot. Never mind, I'm back. Okay, Zion. Really, pal? Because I don't see anything wrong there. I was merely testing you. Hey, pal, don't make me arrest you for lying. Ugh. I guess I was mistaken. All right, so it's not that. There has to be a contradiction. What? Wait a minute. Could it be something else? Wait a minute. Is this it? Ah, you know what? That's a different knife. Eureka! No, not this one. Oh, good time to take a commercial break. When we get back, we're gonna find the contradiction.
Back in a minute.
You may continue in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, welcome back. So here's the thing. It was said that. Wait, hold on. Let me look at the court record real quick. It says here, fountain pen used by the left-handed Faraday. It looks like it's a quality nib. So is this Faraday's left hand? Eureka! Now we come face to face with the contradiction I spoke of, and it is this. Mr. Faraday used his left hand to write with his fountain pen. Ergo, he is left-handed, and yet the handgun is in his right hand. Oh, there we go. Don't you find it odd that the left-handed Mr. Faraday would hold the gun in his right hand? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the great contradiction haunting this crime scene. Yeah, you're right, pal. That does seem kind of strange. But how could something like that happen? The facts add up to the one conclusion and one alone. Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after he died. Someone else? Plastic bags scattered on the floor and a gun in the wrong hand. I sense the presence of a shadowy figure behind this case. A person of violent intent who is serious about keeping the truth from us. Investigation complete. Refill. September 10th, District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2.
Here's the autopsy report.
It is probable that Mr. Rell survived for a short time after he was shot. However, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously from his stabbing. Interesting.
Crime scene notes updated my organizer. Notes pertaining to Byrne, Faraday, and Mackerel.
It looks like we now know everything we need to know about this case.
Yeah, let's take a look at the notes then. Byrne Faraday, age 40. Mackerel, age 32. Time of death, September 10th, approximately 4 p.m. Discovered immediately after a gunshot was heard. Remarks about the bodies. Faraday died of a knife stab to the chest. The shock from the stabbing caused instantaneous death. Rell died of a bullet wound to the chest. There is no gunpowder burn on his clothes, suggesting he was shot from a few yards away. It's possible he was alive for a little while after being shot. Okay. Are you sure we know everything?
Of course, the incident began with Mr. Faraday attempting to get his revenge. The prosecutor went into a rage from being accused and tried to kill the defendant. But the defendants fought back and they ended up killing each other. It's all very clear and simple. There is absolutely no margin for doubt.
You really believe that to be the truth?
Ha! Are you saying that just because I figured out the truth before you, that you don't want to believe it's true? It's alright. If you disagree with my argument, then prove me wrong. Well, if there are any contradictions to be found, that is.
Don't worry. I will. Here we go. Time for an argument. What happened?
Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. Rell survived for a short time. From this, it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell. And Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case.
Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, therefore he must have attacked first. Proving that logic to be false is probably the fastest way to show her that she's wrong. In that case, I should first look for any holes in her theory. Alright, time for rebuttal. What are those holes, Miles?
Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous while Mr. Rell survived for a short time. From this, it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell. And Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him.
Hold it! So you believe that the dying Mr. Rell stole the knife from Mr. Faraday?
Mr. Rell became desperate as he did not want to die. Human beings can do amazing things when they are put to the test. So the two men struggled. And in the end, Mr. Rell was able to grab the knife and stab Mr. Faraday. The missing condition of this room is a testament to their struggle. Yes, my logic is perfectly sound.
Can you really say that it's perfect?
What are you insinuating?
Nothing. However, I can't let what you said slide by without further inquiry. One must be clear and precise. So if you could append that statement to your testimony.
Fine. She struggled and Mr. Rell used the last of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday.
That is not possible. There's the contradiction. Objection! If the two men were fighting, the struggle would have surely caused quite a bit of noise. However, Detective Gumshoe testified that he heard absolutely nothing.
You place too much faith in that detective's testimony, you know. But for the sake of argument, let's say there wasn't a fight. How then did Mr. Rell get his hands on the knife?
Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right here in lobby number 2. It is not hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. Rell saw a chance and took it out at some point.
So, what you're saying is this. Mr. Rell took a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knife from his bag. And then Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed?
Isn't there something strange in Francisca's statement just now? Yes, something's off. Wait, something doesn't add up.
Oh, really?
It's simply not possible for Mr. Faraday to have shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed. It's possible he was alive for a little while after being shot. Found in Rell's hand. Take that! According to the coroner's report, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, meaning that he died immediately upon being stabbed by the knife. Ergo, he could not possibly have fired the gun after that.
Ooh, you got me.
But of course,
So then, if the report is correct, since there is only one correct explanation. If we suppose that Mr. Rell attacked first, then Mr. Faraday, who died instantaneously, would have been able to kill Mr. Rell. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot, then they both died. That is the only explanation that makes logical sense.
Negating your opponent's ideas in order to prove your own theory. I see you've been studying, Francisca.
I just wanted to explain to you as simply as possible. Before you foolishly propose a foolish theory that only a foolish fool like you could.
How naive of you to believe that only your opinions are valid and still expect to discover the truth that the crime scene offers you. Francisca, you've still got a ways to go.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Are you saying there's a flaw in my logic?
Mr. Faraday died instantly, and the fact that he did is what gives rise to the contradiction in this scene. The contradiction here in this crime scene is the order the bodies fell? Yes. Let me get this straight. What you are arguing is this. Mr. Faraday took the gun from his evidence bag and shot Mr. Rell. Then, the wounded Mr. Rell found an opportunity to take the knife and strike back. Upon being stabbed, Mr. Faraday died on the spot, and Mr. Rell died thereafter. If that's the case, then how do you explain this? Take a good look at the order in which their bodies are piled.
9!
Mr. Faraday's body is lying on top of Mr. Rell's. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have died before Mr. Faraday.
Impossible!
Yes, I agree that it seems strange no matter what angle you approach it from. Which means that the real mystery behind this crime scene that we must wait...
Einspruch! 9! Not so fast, Mile Edgeworth!
Which means that the real mystery behind this crime scene that we must solve is no. What now?
I simply think that you ought to think a bit more. I simply think that you ought to think a bit more outside the box. And that it's even clearer now that the incident started with Mr. Faraday's murderous intent.
She sure bounced back quickly. An explanation won't be enough this time. It's going to take some very decisive evidence to prove her wrong. All right, time for another argument. What happened, part 2?
It was just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Rell's. the two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time. It really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in the opposite order.
I just know that Francesca's explanation isn't absolutely correct. All I have to do is find a hole in her logic. Once I do, I can then present her with the evidence that proves the contradiction.
What happened?
It was just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Hell's. The two bodies fell into a pile. If it indicates that they attacked each other at the same time.
Hold it! What do you mean by they attacked each other at the same time?
I assume Mr. Faraday had the two different weapons in his hands. He made to attack Mr. Hell while holding both the knife and revolver. And then, after Mr. Faraday fired the gun, Mr. Hell grabbed the knife as he was falling and stabbed Mr. Faraday. That is how Mr. Hell wound up on the bottom with Mr. Faraday on top. At close range, that is more than possible.
Yes, it's possible, but...
Well, if you have any other ideas, then show me what you've got.
Oh, I will. And to that extent, I'd like for you to append what you just said to your testimony.
I don't see any point to that, but as you please. That fact indicates that they attacked each other at the same time from close range.
Not true, because the bullet that killed Rel was fired from a few yards away. Objection! So you believe they killed each other at close range? Sorry, but that's impossible. Just as it was written in the crime scene notes, the firing of the handgun did not leave a gunpowder burn on Mr. Rel's clothes. Therefore, Mr. Rel and the gun must have been separated by a distance of at least 2 or 3 yards. Ah! Yes, this is by far the biggest contradiction. The two bodies are piled up on each other, yet the gun was fired from a distance. And with there being no chance that Mr. Rel moved that far after being shot, that leaves only one possible explanation.
What a completely foolish line of foolish thought from a thoroughly foolish fool. If I'm not right, then who was it that made the first move with the intent to kill, huh?
Who? The person that attacked first with murderous intent? That would be neither man. Here in this room, contradictions appear no matter which man we claim attacked first. Thus, there can be only one explanation. There was a third person here. Huh? It was that third person who killed both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel and set their bodies up to make it look like a double murder. That third person is the real culprit.
Miles Edgeworth, there's just one thing you're missing.
Evidence, correct?
Exactly. Everything you've said up until now is nothing but a story played out in your head. However, this is where the real test begins. Can you prove that there was a third person involved in this crime?
Of course.
If a third person was truly here, that fact would resolve the glaring contradiction. The proof that this has all been a setup made it look like they killed each other. I'll present it and lay bare the final piece of the puzzle that's not yet in place. What is a piece of evidence that proves there is a third person involved?
Well, let's see. Is it this? Yes! The gun in Mr. Faraday's hand and the plastic bag with his blood on it. These two items point to the presence of a third person.
How so?
Recall Detective Gumshoe's testimony. Yeah, I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. If there wasn't a struggle in this room, then there shouldn't be any plastic bags on the ground, meaning that someone else must have deliberately scattered them around.
Huh?
Do you not see the possibility in this? Disregarding the gun for the moment, there's a high probability of blood splatter when a knife is used on a person. If the culprit held the knife with a plastic bag around it, they could use the bag to catch any blood splatter from when they withdrew the knife. Then by spreading a few more plastic bags around, mixing the bloody one Then by spreading a few more plastic bags around, mixing the bloody one in with them, and arranging the room to make it look like there was a struggle between the two, they were able to conceal their presence. Ah!
Looks like we still got a long way to go in this investigation.
Yes.
Objection!
Objection!
What the heck's up with you, pal?
Mr. Bad, I advise you to place Detective Gumshoe under arrest.
What? What?
What's the meaning of this?
Looks like you're not man enough to discipline your own subordinates.
Don't you dare.
That detective claims he was there standing in front of the door the entire time. But I have it on good authority that it was all a giant lie.
Ms. Yu, I ask that you please explain that last statement.
I'll let His Honor explain it himself.
I saw it with my own eyes, I tell you. During the recess, there was a period of time when there was no one in the hallway. What?
See, Mr. Bad? So I ask you, why would a detective who was supposedly doing his job the whole time want to fabricate such a lie?
Gumshoe, did you kill Faraday?
No! Of course not, sir!
It appears that someone who set this whole crime scene up is that detective, which basically renders his testimony a complete lie and wholly invalid. It looks like your perfect logic has just come tumbling down, Miles.
I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle.
Was that statement really a lie? Detective Gumshoe, you're now a suspect in the murder of 2 men. Now spit out the truth, or so help me.
I haven't lied to anyone, sir. Honest. I really was there. I was in the hallway the whole time.
Hold it!
Hold it! Detective Bad, I ask that you please do not act without my permission. After all, I am the one that is heading up this investigation. Am I not?
Don't talk like you know what's going on, boy.
All I want is for this investigation to run perfectly.
Perfection is the only feat of a disciple of Von Karma, after all.
Therefore, before you take Detective Gumshoe into custody, I'd like to set the record straight on something.
And what's that?
What should I ask Detective Gumshoe about? Motive for the murders, why he wasn't in the hallway, state of the hallway, maybe. No. Motive for the murders. I suppose the one thing I'd like clarified is Detective Gumshoe's motive for committing this crime.
Motive, huh? Gumshoe, you got a grudge against Faraday or anything?
No, sir, not me. Not a single bad thing against Mr. Faraday, sir.
Is that a fact?
Objection!
Objection! You really have a problem with lying, don't you, Detective Gumshoe?
I'm telling you, I am not lying.
The more unnatural you act, the more suspicious you become, you know.
If you want a motive, Edgeworth, I have one for you right here.
Could you please share it with us? However, be forewarned that I won't hesitate to object to flights of fancy, because all I'm interested in is the perfect explanation.
You're serious, aren't you? Fine. You amuse me. So I'll humor you with a little courtroom practice.
All right, time for argument. Gumshoe's motive.
It was about a week ago. I saw the detective get chewed out by a livid Faraday in front of the precinct. He stood there super pale as Mr. Faraday yelled, that's a salary cut for you, you nitwit. A brand new detective suddenly getting a salary cut. That's reason enough for a grudge. Well, how's that for the perfect explanation?
You totally misunderstand me, pal. No matter how mad I get, I could never hold a grudge.
Quiet. You can't trust anything you say.
Sir,
There's nothing wrong with the motive you propose, per se, but there are some gaps in her logic that need to be filled in. Ms. Yu's perfect explanation may not be so perfect at all.
all right, time for rebuttal.
It was about a week ago. I saw the detective get chewed out by a livid Faraday in front of the precinct. He stood there super pale as Mr. Faraday yelled, "That's a salary cut for you, you nitwit." A brand new detective suddenly getting a salary cut. That's reason enough for a grudge. Well, how's that for the perfect explanation?
Hold it. You call your explanation perfect?
Is it not to your liking?
Unfortunately for you, it's just not up to my standards.
Oh? Is there something you want me to clarify in that case?
What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Raise an objection. All right. If you could clear this one thing up for me, how Mr. Faraday was killed, motive for killing Mr. Rell, Faraday Gumshoe's relation. I understand Detective Gumshoe's potential motive for killing Mr. Faraday. However, what about his motive for killing Mr. Rell?
His motive for killing Mr. Rell? Like I would know.
There was no clear motive for both of the murders, and I doubt this incident would have occurred. Wouldn't you agree? Is there anyone else who might have had a grudge against either of the two men, or should we look into that ourselves?
Oh, in that case, I have absolutely no idea.
What? But that's impossible. She must know something.
Wait. Can you please not glare at me like that? It makes me laugh.
I didn't even do anything, and you're already laughing away.
Well, anyway, the way I see it, as long as he had a motive to kill one of the two, this crime would have played out the way it did anyway.
Oh? Would you care to explain your logic? And this time, please try to provide a truly perfect explanation.
Perfect this, perfect that. Stop being so uptight. Or is that a requisite trait for being a Von Karma?
Mile Edgeworth, I demand that you shut this old woman up.
I wish you'd both be quiet for just 1 second.
Oh well, I guess I'll just have to explain it to you kids. There's no one out there with a motive to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. All you really have to establish is that someone had a grudge against one of the two men. Mr. Rell, who happened to be there, became a witness to Mr. Faraday's murder. Therefore, he was killed out of necessity and set it to look like they had killed each other.
I wonder if that's really true. Is there no one out there with a grudge against both men? I should take another hard look at the evidence for this morning's case. The second KG-8 incident, as people are calling it, involving an embassy staff member, and the two men who both wound up as suspects in the case. Is there someone else I'm overlooking who is somehow related to them?
CCU, maybe? Motive to kill the men.
There's no one out there with a motive to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell.
Oh, is that right? Objection! Ms. Yu, I believe there's someone you overlooked in making your statement. Or rather, is it because you'd rather not bring this person up?
What do you mean?
We were looking for someone with a reason to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. I could think of at least one person that fits the bill. He was the suspect in the original KG-8 incident, and a member of the Kodothian embassy staff, Mr. Manny Cochin. That's right, the very man who came to visit you earlier out in the hallway. The man who killed a member of the Kodothian embassy staff, Mr. Rell, and the man who killed a member of the Kodothian embassy staff, Mr. Rell, and the man who was the lead prosecutor of the KG-8 incident, Mr. Faraday. Are you telling me that Mr. Cochin has no reason at all to kill both of these men?
Well, I suppose he might have a reason or two.
You cover for me, pal. Maybe you're not such a bad guy after all. Don't get ahead of yourself. You're still a suspect. Make no mistake about that. The perfect evidence, the perfect testimony. These are the only things I wish to hold. But I didn't do it. You will stay under my authority and go investigate Mr. Manny Cochin for me. And remember, I will not be very forgiving should any of this leak out.
Hold it. You want to investigate Cochin? You'd just be wasting your time.
Why is that?
Cochin was up in the viewing gallery watching the trial. Or so I was told. Every cop in this place has been keeping an eye on the guy since he arrived.
Then the only real suspect we have is still Detective Gumshoe.
I suppose so. No way. Come on, Detective Bad. You gotta believe me, sir. I really was in that hallway the whole time, sir. I never took a single step into this room, sir.
Okay, then are you saying there was someone else who passed through the hallway?
No, there was no one else, sir.
Then why should I believe you didn't do it?
That is one incredibly foolish detective, standing right in front of a crime scene all by himself. It's as good as a confession of guilt.
I have to admit it's a bit strange. Most criminals will fabricate some sort of lie to escape their crimes. And if that detective really wanted to prove that he is innocent, you'd think he would at the very least offer up "I spaced out while on duty" or the like.
Come on, Gumshoe. Time for your interrogation.
Detective Bad. Oh boy. Looks like he's getting a talking to.
Miles Edgeworth, I will go ahead and report this to Papa.
And that, as they say, is that. Right, everyone?
Well, I suppose we should both be getting back to our real jobs now, huh?
Before we do, Miss Yu, there's something I'd like to speak with you about.
What is it? So, what do you want to ask me about?
The KG-8 incident. The current case of the murdered Kodothian embassy staff member. I've heard that people have begun calling it the second KG-8 incident.
Only among you law enforcement types. And what? Only among you law enforcement types. And what about it?
I'd like for you to tell me everything you know about the original KG-8 incident.
I'm afraid I can't help you. I don't know anything beyond what was reported in the papers.
No, I believe you know much more, since you are directly tied to the KG-8 incident.
I'd appreciate it if you'd stop with the false accusations. Baseless outbursts are useless both inside and outside the courtroom, don't you know?
I do, but I also know that I do have a leg to stand on here.
Think you can stop making that ultra-serious face in front of me?
If you could please stop laughing for just 1 second. I'm not gonna make any headway like this. I'm just gonna have to show her exactly how related to the KG incident she is. Oh yeah? Ms. Yu, I believe that I have proof of your connection to the KG8 incident.
That files your proof? Very well then. Why don't you tell me exactly how I related to the KG8 incident?
Let's see, no. I'd say through the suspect? You're linked to this case through the former suspect, Manny Cochin.
Yes, and that sheds light on our discussion. How?
Whew.
Looks like I jumped the gun on this one.
Weren't you the one who mentioned it earlier? About how Mr. Cochin came to see me? Obviously, that makes us acquaintances, right?
I suppose so.
So is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'd like to get going.
Wait a second.
Alright then. Why don't you tell me exactly how it relates to the KG8 incident?
So it's not through the suspect, it's through the victim. Your connection to the KG8 incident is through the victim. The victim's name is CCU. Oh, her sister. I get it now. You will note that she has the same last name as you. Can you really still tell me with a straight face that you are not related to this case?
Sorry, but we're not related. Just kidding. You asked that question with such a serious look on your face that I couldn't help but...
Ms. Yu, I ask that you please tell me the truth.
Alright, I'll tell you everything I know.
Alright, KG8 incident.
As you guessed, the one who reported the smuggling activities of the Amano group was my sister, CCU.
As I thought.
And she was killed right before she was to testify at the impending trial by Manny Cochin. But because he was tried once and was acquitted, he gets to live out the rest of his cushy life completely carefree.
All because of a lack of evidence.
No, I heard that the evidence to convict him did exist.
What?
I heard it from Mr. Faraday himself after Mr. Cochin's trial was over. Apparently, a man in black made off with the most important piece of evidence.
Then the evidence had been tampered with?
Isn't it just like a criminal to do something like that? The smuggling ring being run out of the Amano group by one of its secretaries. They bailed Mr. Cochin out. Turns out they were in league with each other all along.
How big was that smuggling ring? Was it a large operation?
I don't really know, which is why I wanted to become the lead defense on this case that people are calling a second KG8 incident. But I haven't learned anything new at all. I was probably expecting too much, I know.
You mean you think this case has nothing to do with the smuggling ring?
I don't know what to think.
Manny Cochin, why did Mr. Cochin want to meet with you earlier?
Actually, he came to watch the trial. Apparently, he only found out that I was the defense lawyer on this case after he arrived. He figured he should say hi, and one other thing. Looks like he couldn't resolve anything this time either. Too bad.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh boy, stop it with a scary face already. I'm fine, really. I give him a good slap across the face.
The way she talks about slapping him as she laughs away is kind of creepy.
But it's just as Mr. Bat said. He's not related to the double murder. I asked around, and people in the gallery claim that he was in his seat the entire time. Talk about cruel fate. Well, this is about all I know. Sorry. Guess I wasn't much help, huh?
That's not true. I'm sorry I made you recall such a painful time in your life.
Edgeworth, you really are too serious for your own good. You really need to learn to relax. We wouldn't want you to die of stress, would we?
Thank you for the advice, but there's no need to worry. I work in my own way, and I will catch this criminal in my own way as well. You'll see.
Look at you with your game face on, ready to go.
I'm making no such face.
Did you know? Laughter's the best medicine, Edgeworth. Don't you get tired of making such a serious face all the time?
I'm charged with making sure that all the criminals of this world are found guilty. I have no need for laughter.
There you go, making that face again. Oh well. I gotta get going. I still have a few loose ends I need to tie up.
The KG-8 incident and this murder investigation. It is my belief that these two cases are related to each other somehow. Plus, that Detective Gumshoe. It's obvious he's lying, even though the lie is hurting his chances. Clearly, this case is far from over. But whether or not that detective is the murderer can only be determined once I've completed my perfect investigation. Mr. Von Karma, I swear to uphold your honorable name, or my name isn't Miles Edgeworth.
To be continued. Let's see. I'm gonna save my progress here for a bit. Okay. I'm gonna continue this. But before I do, I'm gonna take a quick break. Back in a minute.
Emergency. Continue investigation in 3, 2, 1.
Well, I'm back. Except this time, I'm ready. I'm gonna crack this open real quick. Because it's time for me to get bombed. Okay, time to go back to live scene. We're gonna continue this. September 10th, 4:45 p.m. District Court, 3rd floor lobby. Sir, what is to become of the trial into the Cadofian Embassy staff member's murder?
Indeed, since both the suspect and the prosecutor are now dead, the case will be dismissed. In other words, the trial ends here prematurely.
Huh. Looks like you'll have to wait just a bit longer for your big debut.
I suppose it can't be helped.
The evidence for this trial will be transferred to you in a little while.
Sir, what do you think about the murder of the Cadovian Embassy staff member and the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell?
What an outrageous circus it has all become. That Faraday brought it all upon himself with his naivete.
An outrageous circus. Right, sir.
I grow weary of this topic. Edgeworth, I will have you assigned to a different case.
Papa, you'll come and watch my courtroom debut next, won't you?
I'll consider it.
Sir, if I may, please allow me to continue with my investigation.
Whatever for?
I know that there is already a suspect in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. However, there's not enough evidence to prove that it was he who committed the crime. I'd like to continue investigating in order to find the perfect proof of his guilt.
The perfect proof? Don't make me laugh. A worthless person like you has no right to claim such a thing as perfection.
Papa? Who do you think is the real culprit behind these murders? Miles and I, we're competing to see who can find the real killer first. Plus, being able to investigate the real crime scene is a really rare opportunity. It would give us some real-life experience, wouldn't you agree?
If you want to investigate this case that much, then do as you wish.
Then you're allowing us to continue?
In court, your top priority is to win, and a solid investigation is one of the keys to winning. We have to make sure you become recognized as a first-rate prosecutor, don't we? It wouldn't be very interesting otherwise. I'm returning home now. Edgeworth, Francisca, see to it I'm not disturbed, save for the results of your competition.
Yes, sir.
Of course, Papa.
Francisca, thank you.
What are you thanking me for? Your logic earlier was built on that scruffy detective's lie. That means that the competition is still on.
Yes, just as you wished.
Huh! I couldn't let you get off so easily. Now then, let's see how well you fare on the investigation from here, Miles Edgeworth.
I know I don't have enough information yet, so my first order of business will be to question anyone involved with this case.
It wasn't me, I tell you. I didn't do anything wrong. Yes, I understand. So let's just calm down, okay, buddy?
I doubt I'll get anything useful from the detective while he's this agitated.
Miss Yu.
Oh, it's you, Edgeworth. And who are you? Wait, you were at the crime scene just now, weren't you?
You should be disbarred for not knowing who I am. I am Francisca Von Karma, and I am about to become the successor to the family name.
About to? I guess that means that for now, you're still just another kid. In which case, it's only natural that I didn't know who you are.
What? Yeah.
Why are you whipping me?
Anyway, it looks like they're planning to hold the evidence a bit longer. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's waiting.
I'm terribly sorry, but I have a few more questions to ask of you.
Look at you, eyebrows scrunched with lines in your forehead. And that, to ask of you.
What exactly is so funny?
I'm sorry, I'm just bad at dealing with a super serious atmosphere.
Apparently they failed to teach you proper behavior at a crime scene in law school.
I feel much better now. So, what is it you want to talk about?
I'd like to inquire as to where you were at the time of the murder.
We were in defendant lobby number 1 the whole time, up until we heard the gunshot. And by we, I mean Mr. Bad. If you don't believe me, feel free to ask him yourself.
You were with Detective Bad? Why?
We had a little something to discuss, that's all.
Detective Bad. So I take it that you are acquaintances with Detective Bad?
Yeah, he was the detective in charge of the KG-8 incident.
Detective Bad is also related to that incident?
That's right. He was the one who was supposed to protect my sister, Cece. But you know how that turned out, don't you, Edgeworth?
Miles Edgeworth, I have no idea what you are talking about. We've heard of the KG-8 incident from my papa, but how does that case relate to you, Miss Yu?
The victim of that case, CCU, was my little sister.
Whoa, what? She tells me now that CCU is Callisto's sister? What?
You're making that super serious face again. I'm fine, really. I just make it a point to rub some more salt in his wounded pride every time I see him.
The way she talks about doing that as she laughs is always kind of creepy.
Oh, speaking of Mr. Bad, he and Mr. Faraday, I'd say they met up just about every single time the Yatagarasu made a move. It was practically a given that the two would meet up at every one of the crime scenes.
I see. He did mention that he is in charge of the Yatagarasu investigation earlier. Maybe I should ask her what she knows about the Yatagarasu in more detail. Yatagarasu? Dun dun dun. Time of the murder. You claim that at the time of the murder, you were with Detective Bad.
But don't your lawyers usually discuss the trial with your clients during a recess?
We do, and that's what I was planning to do. But Mr. Faraday was being rather threatening, and he dragged Mr. L away. After that, Mr. Bad came into lobby number 1, so we just stayed there and talked.
And what did you talk with Detective Bad about?
Nothing interesting. I just insulted him some. Talked about how the trial was going. Then I insulted him some more.
Bloody! When she's not laughing, her mouth seemingly spews nothing but insults.
Anyway, Mr. Bad and I were in defendant lobby number 1 when the murders occurred. So I really can't tell you anything about the hallway or lobby number 2.
I see. Macrell, I'd like to ask you a few questions about your client, Mr. Macrell. Now, your client first claimed to be the Yatagarasu. Is that correct?
Yeah. Once I heard that it was the Yatagarasu that had made off with the evidence from KG8, I began to ask Mr. L all sorts of questions, but to no avail. Turns out Mr. L was not the Yatagarasu. He had just made that up.
He made it up?
Mr. L's crime was caught on tape by the security cameras, but there's no footage of him sneaking into the Kadofian embassy itself.
Hold on for just 1 second. Then you mean to say that you knew that he was not the real Yatagarasu? And that he was just another cold-blooded killer? And you were ready to defend him?
Yes, that's right.
I see. So a defense lawyer is actually just someone whose job is to cover for criminals.
So that's why defense lawyers are so detestable, but they have no match for us Von Karmas.
I don't believe it. You're serious. Why don't you say that face for something really worth being serious about? And Edgeworth, do you remember what I said earlier? I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG8 incident, alright?
And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer?
Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. L was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him ever, so don't you dare suggest I was going to.
I'm sorry. Forgive my rashness. Just turn the mic down just a little teeny bit. Okay, that works. Yatagarasu. Ms. Yu. I was wondering if you could tell me about the Yatagarasu.
The Yatagarasu, huh? I don't really know much about that character myself, but I do get a lot of consultation requests from companies to defend them.
Requests from companies?
The Yatagarasu isn't some petty thief out for money, you know.
Alright then, perhaps the Yatagarasu is in the business of stealing people's lives?
You're not very funny or witty, are you, little Miss Von Karma?
Francisca, be careful about who you whip. Choose carefully or we may... Oh! Maybe soon.
Sir, I chose carefully, just like you wanted.
Huh? That just now was hilarious, little missy.
Of course it was.
What is wrong with these two women? Why does my pain give them delight?
And? So in the end, what is the Yatagarasu? I have to say, I've never even heard of this thief when I was in Germany.
The Anagarasu deals in information, namely in digging out dirt about backroom dealings and the like of companies. The Anagarasu is a vigilante who steals such info and then makes it public for all to see.
Vigilante or not, this person sounds like just another criminal to me.
I suppose you could put it that way, too. But either way, I get a lot more clients now, thanks to that thief.
Sounds like Miss Yu is profiting nicely. I suppose I've gotten all I can out of Miss Yu. I should move on and speak with Detective Gumshoe now.
All right. Detective Gumshoe. Hey, it's you, pal. You're here. Ouch!
As am I.
I don't think you need to whip and let him know that.
I didn't do it, pal. I swear on my honor as a detective, I really didn't. Your words are useless. I place my trust only in the evidence, detective. Once the investigation is fully over, and should we find out that you are the killer, there will be no mercy to be had for you. Have a heart, pal. But you're not worried, right? After all, you have nothing to worry about. If you really are innocent, that is. That's right. Hey, pal, go and do your perfect investigation and get the real killer for me, will ya? I would have done so even had you not requested me to, detective. Motive for murder. So you and Mr. Faraday had a small meeting last week, did you? And what exactly did you do to make him so angry? I just asked Detective Bad the same thing myself, pal. Turns out he was mad at me because on my very first day as a detective, I reported in my usual postings into the Criminal Affairs Department. By the time I got down to Criminal Affairs, I was really late. And that's when he gave me that huge speech.
I remember doing the same exact thing in elementary school. On the first day of school every year, I'd always find out going to my old classroom.
How pathetic for the detective to be comparable to a mere schoolchild.
During a recess. Sorry. You claim to be standing guard in front of the door to lobby number 2 during the recess. However, when did you receive the order to do so, and from whom? I'm earlier at around 3:20, and from Detective Bad, pal. Today's trial took a really crazy turn, so I was told to make sure nothing happened to Mr. Faraday.
And yet, something did happen to him, correct? It looks like it was a total waste of manpower to assign you to guard duty.
Ow! Your words sting worse than your whip, pal.
So it was Detective Bad who ordered him to stand guard, huh?
Next step. Dang it. So it was Detective Bad who ordered him to stand guard, huh? Next step. Now then, Detective Gumshoe, is there anything else you'd like to tell me? Nope, not a thing, pal.
In such a case, allow us to take a look at what you are carrying on your personage.
Wait, you can't do that!
There's nothing of any particular value here.
Well, my handcuffs and badge were confiscated by Detective Bad, so, you know. And what is that open envelope I see sticking out of your coat pocket? Hands off, pal!
Just see what goes already. Yeah.
Yo! Annual bonus check within $5 total, except there is no check inside. You've had your luck, now give it back, pal. It's my first bonus as a brand new detective. I just got it and cashed it today. I had literally no cash on me up until I did, you know. So the envelope is really special to me. Now give it back.
You don't need to converse like this. Don't worry. Feel sorry to wait for you later.
How could you? Annual bonus envelope data jotted down in my organizer. Detective Gumshoe's annual bonus of $5. Literally had no money on him until he cashed this. I'm Sorry, but I need to take him in for questioning now. I think I've asked him just about everything I needed to. No, wait. Since he became a suspect, there is one piece of evidence I should reconfirm. Officer, I asked you to wait a second. I still have one thing I'd like to reconfirm with Detective Gumshoe. Understood. Please make it brief, sir. I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. I must confirm whether or not his testimony about when the crime occurred is the truth. It's a bookshelf. What's this? Judge's Trial Exchange Log. It appears to be a journal where the various judges share their thoughts and ideas. The real daily lives of the judges are laid out here in these pages.
Serious, nothing about the court in here. It's just page after page of underrated drivel.
Judging by the content, they are very enthusiastic about the courthouse's daily menu. Wow. So they're probably struggling to get a game on. Judging by the content, they are very enthusiastic about the courthouse's daily menu, and it would appear that fried oysters are a favorite.
I have no use for such foolish words from that foolish coward.
Someone please assure me that this is not the true state of this country's judiciary. You told me earlier that you heard no sound other than the gunshot out in the hallway. Is that correct? No mistake about it, pal. Then you are also claiming that no one passed through the hallway either? Is that also correct? Yep, not even a single lamp passed through that hall while I was on duty. You do realize that the lie you're telling is only making life more difficult for yourself, huh? But it's true. I didn't see anyone go through the hallway, and I didn't hear anything else, pal. I bet the killer found a way to kill the two guys that's beyond what I can even imagine. So he intends to continue telling this ridiculous lie. But why would he do so, given the situation he's in? I believe a thorough investigation of the hallway in front of the defendant lobbies is in order. Well then. What the? Hey, who's this little chickadee? You! No!
How could you have not noticed that coming?
Wasn't that the child I changed money for earlier?
Thanks. That's exactly what I needed.
Kids can sometimes be so cruel.
It looks like he dropped something.
Swiss roll data jotted down on the organizer. Swiss roll dropped by the mysterious young girl. It says courthouse special on it.
Maybe we should arrest the girl. She might turn out to be a valuable lead.
I believe some sort of punishment may need to be dealt the next time we meet. I believe I've asked all I needed. I believe I've asked all that I needed to this man. Now for Detective Bad and the judge.
If you have to confirm who is correct, the judge or that Scarface, right? I suppose we should inspect the hallway in front of lobby number 2 next then.
I suppose so. Shall we head on over, Francisca? Is this it? September 10th, District Court, hallway.
So, did you see anything else?
No, I don't think so.
I see. Well, thanks for your cooperation.
Oh, it's nothing. Just doing my duty as a defender of the law.
That'll be all for now. I'll ask again if I have any other questions.
Anytime, Detective. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a few loose ends I have to tie up. Oh, you're that new prosecutor Mr. Von Karma recommended, right? My name is Mile Edgeworth, Your Honor.
And I'm Manfred Von Karma's daughter, Francisca Von Karma. I'm set to become his successor to my genius father any day now, Your Honor.
I see, Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by... I see, Mr. New Prosecutor, recommended by Von Karma, Miles Edgeworth, and Ms. I hurt my tongue. Are you all right, Your Honor?
Please feel free to refer to me as just Ms. Von Karma, Your Honor. As for him, just Edgeworth is fine.
Apparently somebody doesn't feel that I'm worthy of a proper title.
Oh, very well then. I shall call you Ms. Von Karma and Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth. Your Honor, Mr. Edgeworth is fine, sir. Now, about your earlier testimony. Yes, what about it, Mr. Edgeworth? I would like to ask you a few questions about what exactly you saw. All right, after all, it's my duty to clarify my testimony as a defender of the law. I greatly appreciate your cooperation, Your Honor.
Now, the first thing I will need to do is figure out that detective's exact movements.
Begin investigation. I'll wait.
It doesn't look like there's anything contradictory left in this area.
I suppose not.
Perhaps I should check somewhere else.
If it appears that this vending machine sells snacks and various other foods.
Just lovely. What will they think of next?
Don't be a jerk and quack like these beef jerks. 1 packet for $9. Defendant's fresh milk. 1/2 pint for $7. Stay neutral as a Swiss stew until the end of the seas for $6. They're awfully overpriced.
The lineup is simply awful, period.
Speaking of snacks, I wonder if that Swiss rolls a little cold shot is from this machine.
I was wondering about that myself.
Stay neutral as a Swiss stew until the end of the seas. The end of what?
Well, I assume it means the end of the trial. I suppose this means that one should eat these during a recess.
You can't eat during the trial, so I suppose the only time you can eat them is now, huh?
I wouldn't mind if you wanted to eat one now. They come in packs of 2, after all.
We're in the middle of an investigation. Besides, I don't have $6 on me.
If you want, we can pool our money and buy a pack together.
If I had to split it with you, then I don't want it.
Defendant's fresh milk. What exactly is that supposed to... What exactly is that supposed to mean?
But it means that the milk is freshly milked by various defendants on trial right now.
No, I think it might mean that this is milked right here from the various defendants.
Miss Edgeworth, you can't possibly be serious.
Of course not. When it's looking bad, blind your opposition with some OJ. Are they promoting violence?
Don't worry, my effort will take to make sure that anybody following this advice won't be for long.
Compared to the sting of a whip, the sting of orange juice may not be so bad.
When you're in hot water, you might need a hot dog. Looks like this slogan was decided through a public contest, and the winner was Prosecutor Winston Payne?
What a pathetic slogan. No presence at all. Now, if it was up to me, it would read, if you leave matters in the Von Karma's hands, everyone in court will be found guilty dogs.
Objection! Oh,
Overruled.
don't be a jerk in court like these beef jerks. I see.
Einspruch. Miles Edgeworth, wouldn't you agree that this is a very clever pun?
Do you really think they put that much effort into the product name?
Even a foolish fool could understand the foolish thinking of the fool who made it up. You're acting so foolishly that I got so thoroughly mad, and I am now utterly famished.
If you wanted a pack of these, all you had to do was act like a normal person. Don't let the prosecution and defense make a ham sandwich out of you.
It sounds like it's directed at a ham of a judge.
Well, it certainly isn't directed at me. I can outmaneuver him any day. Let's see. Wait a second. Could it be about the girl? Nope. The pieces don't fit together quite right. No, try it again. Now, what are we looking at here? Your Honor, I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind. Where were you at the time of the murder?
Do you suspect me of something?
No, nothing of the sort, Your Honor. Very well. You may continue with your testimony. Your Honor, it's your testimony I'm after.
Oh, I had no idea you were chasing after me or my testimony.
I don't make any sense, and I might want to avoid being in a trial run by this judge. Time of the murder.
Let's see here. Now then, how should I put this? When you get to be my age, you need to pay more frequent visits to the restroom. If you go take a look through the window at the end of this hall, you'll see a small window. That is the window to the men's restroom. In other words, you can see clearly into this hallway from the men's restroom. When I was going into the restroom, that detective, Gumshoe, is it? Well, he was standing in front of the vending machine buying something from it. However, and this I couldn't believe, when I was about to exit the restroom, there was not a soul in the hallway anymore.
Your Honor, if you could please calm down and explain it to me rationally.
Oh, I'm really sorry. Please, let me regain my composure. It was really suspicious. That's what my finely honed judge's intuition said. Although, well, until the murders occurred, I just sort of brushed it off. Ho ho ho.
Apparently, this judge doesn't understand the concept of staying calm. That's probably all I'm going to find out from His Honor.
Mr. Edgeworth, may I return to my other duties now?
Yes, I'm sorry to have held you up. Thank you for your cooperation, Your Honor.
Ho ho ho. Anytime, Mr. Edgeworth, anytime.
The judges in this country seem rather friendly.
Yes, if not a little wishy-washy. However, I hear that they are known to hand down very fair verdicts. Detective Bad, I have something I wish to inquire about.
Hey, how about doing some actual work, you?
I wish to inquire into Detective Gumshoe's movements during recess.
You're getting in the way of the investigation.
I have an order from Mr. Von Karma himself. Plus, I still hold investigative authority. Detective Gumshoe. So I hear you were the one who called for Detective Gumshoe to come down here.
Faraday, that guy was just accused, you know. I just knew something was gonna happen. My detective's instinct told me.
Excuse me.
Of what good it did you? You could even protect one. You couldn't even protect one lone prosecutor visit.
Hold it! Hold it! Francisca, I think you need to apologize.
I'm sorry.
I'm terribly sorry, Detective Bad. Please continue.
I used to phone on the first floor and called the precinct. I told them to send somebody over. And that detective's the one that showed up.
And only upon his arrival did you set Detective Gumshoe to stand guard, Detective Bad?
Yeah, I waited for him on the first floor. After he got here, we came up to these defendant lobbies together. As we entered this hallway, we ran into you. She told us that Faraday was really mad, and that he dragged Rel off to lobby number 2 to have a word or something. And that Faraday had said to not let anyone interrupt them. So what choice did I have? All I could do was tell the big lug to stand guard outside.
And around what time did a lot of all that take place?
Let's see, I think it was about 30 minutes before I heard the gunshot. After giving the big lug his assignment, he never left the hallway, not once.
Oh? And how can you make such a claim?
One of the guards out in this floor's main lobby swore to me he didn't.
If the detective never left the hallway, then where did he disappear off to?
Such simple. He must have gone into lobby number 2, just as I suspected.
You and I, we were in lobby number 1 next door. The only one without an alibi is Gumshoe.
It would seem that I am still missing some key pieces of information. The gunshot. Detective Bad, you also heard the gunshot, did you not?
Yeah, I heard it when I was in defendant lobby number 1. That's why I came running towards lobby number 2 together with you.
How much time elapsed between you hearing the gunshot and your arrival on the scene?
Less than a minute.
What were your movements upon hearing the gunshot?
I grabbed the big lug who was just walking around in the hall and raced into lobby number 2, and that's when we discovered the bodies, in that order.
That makes you discover the crime scene, right?
Yeah, I guess it does, little miss.
I am about to become a prosecutor very soon. You will treat me with the dignity I deserve, or else. Yeah.
You wave that thing around anymore, and I'll have you arrested for obstruction, little miss.
You wouldn't dare.
Just joking.
Detective Bad is really something. Detective Bad is really something if he can make Francisca behave.
Are we about done?
Is there anything else I should ask him about? No. Okay. Time you heard the gunshot. I'd like for you to tell me the exact time you heard the gunshot.
It was around the end of the recess, and the trial was about to start again, I think. He was supposed to make time for himself to transfer the evidence he was holding. But I got the sense he wasn't going to show for the handoff, so I figured I should go get him, or he'd be late. And just as I thought that, bang, the sound of a gunshot hit my eardrums.
So he heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to restart, huh? Detective Bad's testimony jotted down to my organizer. He heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again.
Are we done here? I don't have any time to waste.
Momentum! Oh, come on. All you're doing is standing in front of this door doing nothing.
I get the sense that he is somewhat investigating this crime scene, or rather that he is keeping us under surveillance. But to what end? Detective Bad, may I ask that you cooperate with us for just a bit longer?
I don't have anything else to say to the two of you. You guys were the ones who said you wanted to investigate in the first place.
Fine then, be obstinate. We'll just do as we please. Come on, Miles.
You may no longer be willing to help with us. However, may I ask for the forensic scientist's cooperation?
Do as you like.
Did you find something, officer? I think there's a $5 bill back there. Come on, just a little more.
Is there no one fucking this crime scene which isn't a total waste of living tissue?
Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a single person we can deem useful here. What about this? Have you found any suspicious fingerprints, officer? Nope, just fingerprints of those involved with the case, sir.
I guess we know all the players in this case then, huh?
It would appear that way, but I have a nagging feeling that we're missing something. And I suspect what we're missing is hiding right here in this crime scene somewhere. Well, we better get in there then. Huh? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Huh? What about this? The ants are hard at work carrying their food home. It's a marvel that they can pick up such comparatively large objects to their size.
Well, if you want to carry the mighty Von Karma name and not be squished under it, you better work extra hard, just like these ants.
Same goes for you, Francisca. What is this? It's a pink-colored piece of trash made of rubber. I feel like I've seen something like this before.
Well, all I see is a piece of garbage. But you know, the fact that there's litter running loose inside this courthouse it's simply unforgivable. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like it was I who littered.
Rubbish belongs in the rubbish bin. Yeah.
So that window on the other side belongs to the men's restroom.
I can't see it.
At your height, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
No! I guess short people have feelings too. Wait a second. Ugh.
What's the matter?
I pricked myself with one of these cacti's needles. I didn't think needles on this thing would be so sharp.
Well, what did you expect? Can you imagine how bad it would be if you were hit on the head by one disease? Anyway, this cactus seems to be unrelated to our case.
Do you really think so? Because I believe that this cactus sitting on this windowsill is completely related.
Oh, well then, I look forward to your explanation on how exactly it is related.
Mommy number 2 window. No human can climb through these barred windows. The set of flowers is in the air. This has to be somebody who went through that window. Nope. Not exactly a shining example of the perfect line of logic. No. Wait. This has to be. No. Perfect time to take a break. Be right back. Okay, let's try this. This pink rubbery substance, I saw this in a different form earlier today. I believe this is a piece of a popped balloon.
I suppose that's possible.
The balloon probably got a little too close to our friend, the windowsill cactus.
So that could be the logical conclusion, yes?
Balloon piece data jotted down on my organizer. I just know I've seen pink balloon around, found in windowsill of hallway window. Hey guys, Pink Card Shave. Hey, Jack's World. Thanks for joining the chat, my man. Now, let's see, what else? Oh, wait, there's crumbles over here. Oh. Oh, what's this? The dirt on this bench. It smells like some sort of sweet substance.
I can't believe there's someone going around dirtying the courthouse. For shame!
Hold it! Calm down, Francisca. Now take a good look. Doesn't the smudge look kind of like a handprint to you?
I suppose it could be.
Which means that perhaps we can lift the prints of the person who sullied this bench. One moment, please. Bro, it's Mr. Bear. Welcome.
I see. As in, we'll know the identity of our mystery slop.
You there, the lab technician. Could you please find out who this handprint belongs to? Sir, yes, sir. I've got the results of the fingerprint analysis, sir. And, do we know who they belong to? Sir, the fingerprints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Oh? Interesting. Good work, officer. Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints data jotted down on the organizer. Look, left on the hallway bench, dark smudge emits the scent of sweet sugar.
And there you have it.
Yes, I suppose so.
Now we know the identity of the person who dirtied the bench.
I sense that you and I will be using this information in very different ways. Mr. Bear and Mr.
What are these black speckles?
I believe it's a pile of ants eating away.
Ooh, that detective, he claims that not a single ant slipped by him, and yet here is a whole hill of them. Yeah,
Yeah! What do you think? What are you hitting me for?
as a replacement for that pathetic detective.
Perhaps I should add this deduction to the detective's growing tab of pay cuts.
Anyway, I wonder what the ants are eating.
From the look and sweet smell of it, pieces of cake and chocolate from a Swiss roll. Time for a little more logic.
Miles Edgeworth, the courthouse is to be kept pristine at all times. Yeah,
No! It wasn't me that dropped food on the ground.
the courthouse, yeah, must be kept clean. Yeah.
No! Swiss Colom's vending machine. These bits of chocolate and cake, could they not have come from a Swiss roll?
A Swiss roll. Why would the courthouse sell a thing like that?
It may not seem like the right venue. However, it is being sold right over there.
The vending machine? Ah, I see. Stay neutral as a Swiss do until the end receives. 2 for $6. Talk about expensive.
Leaving the fact that it's on the expensive side aside, the fact that the cake crumbs and chocolate bits were found in this hallway suggests that they came from a Swiss roll that was purchased from this machine. I think I have a pretty clear picture of what happened here now. Lobby, no window.
Naturally. After all, I'm here, aren't I?
Detective Gumshoe must have sat on this bench as he ate a Swiss roll. And as he ate, he dropped it on the floor and sullied the bench.
How could he have not cleaned up after himself? How utterly despicable!
Don't you dare whip me again! It wasn't I who made the mess in the first place! Anyway, if it was indeed Detective Gumshoe who bought the Swiss roll, that creates a rather interesting contradiction of facts.
A contradiction? Fair.
I think another look at the special courthouse vending machine is in order. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Let's see. Is this spot somehow connected to anything? If it's a home face, your hand mess. Vending machine left to punch you in the face. Wait. Hold on. Wait. Ham sandwich, beef jerky. Hot water. Okay, break time. Back in a minute. Wait, kill? Banjo-Kazooie? Detective Gumshoe's annual bonus of $5. Lily had no money on him until he cashed this. Eureka! About Detective Gumshoe's finances, he said that until this morning, he didn't have even a single penny on his personage.
Just how poor is that guy?
If this bonus really was only $5, then he should not have been able to purchase a pack of Swiss rolls. However, facts being as they are, we found cake crumbs on the floor.
Meaning Scruffy must have bought the pack somehow?
Indeed. That detective should not have been able to purchase a pack, and yet he did. The question is, how? I know how. Are you playing on the PS4 or 5? I'm playing on the PS5. Swiss roll data updated in my organizer. Swiss roll dropped by the mysterious young girl is priced at $2 for 6. Price of 2 for $6. Investigation complete. Refill. I believe I now have a very firm grasp on what happened here.
Oh, well, I do too.
All right, Francisca. Would you care to share what conclusions you come to? Packs. How?
Why should I do that? It's the ultimate of a competition, you know. You should be checking to see if your conclusions are wrong first, so you go ahead.
It's almost cute that she's going this far to ensure that she wins. Almost. Very well, but first we need to pay His Honor a visit to correct his testimony. September 10th, 5:15 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 3. The only PS5 is 611 and Banjo the Bear. Can't. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to test your witness testimony to see how it stands up. Cute. Do you doubt me? Am I your new suspect? In a sense. I suppose you could say that.
Even you, a judge, are nothing but a common witness before Von Karma.
Silence in the courtroom. Silence, I say. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Memphis. Mr. James Prosecutor.
You bit your tongue again, didn't you?
As a defender of the law, I could never give false testimony. You can even place me under oath if you want. Very well, then. Your testimony, if you please. What I saw at recess. During the recess, I went to the restroom. There was a window on the hallway side. In other words, I could see into the hallway. As I entered, I saw the detective buying something from the vending machines. But when I was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared. A detective that goes missing while on duty? That sounds mighty suspicious to me. Your Honor, can you please try to remain calm? Oh? I'm so used to simply listening to testimonies that I got caught up in the excitement. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I'm afraid I'm gonna have to spoil your fun now. Rebuttal time. What is our recess? During the recess, I went to the restroom. There was a window on the hallway side. In other words, I could see into the hallway. As I entered it, I saw that detective buying something from the vending machines. But when I was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared. Nope. Is it this? Objection! Well, what was that finger wag for, Mr. Edgeworth? And don't you know it's rude to shout objection while someone is giving testimony? Ha! If you truly are a man of the law, then you must always be vigilant. For example, I never let an opportunity to shout objection pass me by.
Miles Edgeworth, it's one thing to be passionate about your job, but this is real life.
This is what some people may say is a pot calling the kettle black. Your Honor, I wonder if you might take a look at this for me. What is that filth? How dare someone dirty the hallway bench like that? Who is the culprit? That party is hereby found guilty of uncleanliness. If you must know, the uncouth bench sullier has already been placed under arrest, thanks to your earlier testimony, Your Honor. Oh? Well, that's good. But who was it? we were able to discover something from the smudge on the bench, namely Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints. Not happy with committing just murder, he had to go and dirty the courthouse too? Guilty. Your Honor, please calm down. While it's true that the detective is the one who made the mess on the bench, we have not yet established that if this action is related to the double murder. What do you mean? I believe that the detective bought a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine and then promptly sat down on the bench to eat one. The cake crumbs and pieces of chocolate on the floor under the bench and Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints prove my conclusions to be true. Oh, but I still don't understand. Is this whole thing related to how I couldn't see him as I was leaving the restroom? It is indeed. The window in the hallway was built rather high up into the wall, at around a grown adult's chest height. As evidence, I submit that Francisca herself was unable to see out of that window. Oh, no! I knew I shouldn't have used her height as evidence. Basically, what this means is that the area directly under the hallway window is a blind spot when the hallway is being viewed from the men's restroom. Then, it seems that you have made the connection. If someone were to sit on the bench under the window, yes, even someone as large as Detective Gumshoe would effectively disappear from sight. What? Do you finally see, Your Honor? Your testimony has just proven that the Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway the entire time. Hold it. Sorry. I didn't mean to say it with that much enthusiasm. All I wanted to do was try saying it once. Here, let me try that again. Hold it. Is there something of value that you'd like to say? Yes, actually there is. I remembered something else just now. Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to testify to the court one more time.
Even if he overruled him, he just keep on talking, wouldn't he?
That might not be a bad thing. The more info, the better in a perfect investigation, right? Here we go. What I saw, part 2. I never thought I would ask for testimony from a judge, but I digress. I suppose it's possible you can't see a seated person from the restroom window. However, that doesn't mean that the detective was sitting there when I looked. Anyway, I forgot to testify earlier about probably the most important detail. As I was leaving the restroom, I heard the loud bang of a gunshot. How was that? That is a testimony of one who judges the crimes of others. Your Honor! Could you try to state the important facts first next time?
I agree. Before you go around judging others, you should learn to judge your own words.
I'm sorry, but honestly, I thought that sound was just a noise popper until just now.
Now that he mentions it, right before he restarted the trial, he did talk about that.
Oh, by the way, was there someone celebrating a birthday during a recess? I could have sworn that I heard a popper going off. The balloon on the cactus! Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson...
The most critical point in this argument is when did the judge look into the hallway, and when did that line up with when the gun was actually fired?
Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to clarify a few details in your testimony. I could have sworn... Here's what I'm thinking. Kay Faraday jumped into that window, popped that balloon next to that cacti, and dropped the Swiss cake roll, and gave the dollar to Detective Gumshoe, which would then... I suppose it's possible you can't see a seated person from the restroom window. However, that doesn't mean that the detective was sitting there when I looked. Hold it! As we established, you went to the restroom during the recess. However, at what point in the recess did you look into the hallway? After I called for a recess, I handled the change of prosecutor paperwork. Maybe about 20 minutes until we reconvened. Yes, that sounds about right. Just as I expected. What were you expecting? And I demand to know what that all-knowing smile is for. Your Honor, that statement you made just now is very important. I'd like for you to append it to your testimony. All right, if you insist. Let's see. I looked into that hallway about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. Something's odd. He heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again.
Objection!
Objection! Good hit. Your Honor, I cannot allow you to make an objection. What? Your Honor, I'm really sorry, but I cannot allow you to not allow me to make an objection. Egad! I've been overruled? Wah, 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 wah. Your Honor, there are simply too many holes in your testimony for my taste. What do you mean by that? You claim that you heard the gunshot during the recess, but that is simply not possible. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Manfred Von Karma.
Instead of biting your tongue, why don't you... Instead of biting your tongue, why don't you bite your tongue on those preposterous names?
I see you have no mercy for the elderly either, Francisca.
Don't talk back to me unless you want to be whipped in the back.
With your height, you need a stepladder or 4 to accomplish that. Mr. Edgeworth, my ears are not that far gone yet, I'll have you know. I can still hear just fine. And I heard the sound of a gunshot loud and clear with my own 2 ears. Your Honor, I have here an interesting bit of testimony. It's from Detective Bad, and according to him, he heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again. What did you just say? Your Honor, you just said that you heard the gunshot about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. How do you explain this glaring contradiction? That can't be! Unfortunately, that is the truth. But I heard it clear as day. Bang! The loud sound of a gunshot. The sound of the gunshot. We keep returning to this point of contention, and that piece of evidence. I always did wonder why I found it where I did. However, now I understand what that gunshot the judge heard really was. Unfortunately, Your Honor, this is what really produced the gunshot you heard. The balloon. I found this object in the hallway earlier. What is that pink substance? It may not look it, but this is actually a piece of a balloon. I see. And I suppose you would like me to accept that pink balloon to the court record? Your Honor, I present this piece of evidence in order to overrule your testimony. What? Your Honor, your argument goes as follows. You saw no one in the hallway when you heard the gunshot. Now, there is no guarantee that the detective was sitting on the bench at that time. Therefore, you believe he must have been at the crime scene, defendant lobby number 2. Am I correct? Yes, that's exactly right. Let me ask you something. Do you think that the gunshot you heard was produced by a real gun? I think I said enough that even you could figure the rest out on your own. Your Honor, you were fooled by the popping of this balloon into thinking it was a gunshot. What manner of trickery is this?
That was a good effort you put forth, Miles Edgeworth. But if it was me, I'd have wrapped this thing up before the judge even testified.
Care to elaborate on how one ends something before it even begins? Well, to be honest, I did think that the sound was a bit off from a real gunshot sound. But who could have guessed that someone would pop a balloon in a place like this? That's true. One doesn't usually think balloons in conjunction with the courthouse.
I want to trade these coins with you.
That's it! That balloon that girl was holding, it explains everything! Your Honor, if it makes you feel any better, you didn't lie once in your testimony. However, I can't really vouch for its accuracy. Who knew that giving testimony could be such a difficult thing to do? What have I done? I owe Detective Gumshoe a very, very big apology. I will say to myself that he is released. Wait, there are still a few things I have yet to resolve about what happened in the hallway. Your Honor, I request your permission to further question Detective Gumshoe. But why? I thought we just cleared his name. Whether we did just now or not, I still cannot say. The only thing I can do for now is to continue in my quest for the perfect explanation. And to that end, I must resolve the remaining issues pertaining to the events that occurred in the hallway. Very well. Bailiff, please bring Detective Gumshoe into the courtroom. I must fulfill my mission and find the perfect explanation to this case. September 10th, District Court, courtroom number 3. What is it now? Is it time for my trial already? I've already told you a gazillion times, pal. I didn't do it. I'll be the judge of that, Detective Gumshoe.
No, you won't. I'll be the judge of that.
No. I'm the judge around here, and I'll be the judge of that. Why can't you guys be a little less judgmental? Yes, well, speaking of hasty judgments, Detective Gumshoe, I'm afraid I must apologize for an error in judgment on my part. Your Honor, I don't believe you should apologize just yet. We have yet to prove he is completely innocent of this crime. I guess so. Huh? What are you guys talking about? In any case, I would like you to testify as to your actions while you were on guard duty. And please remember, you are not on trial. This is all just a part of the investigation. As such, you may still be found to be innocent. However, if you should give false testimony...
Yeah! My fateful object, loud and clear.
If you are found to be lying, you will be held indefinitely. Understood? I got you, pal. Thinking back on the state of the crime scene and the judge's testimony, it's obvious that Detective Gumshoe is lying. And if I can't break his lie, then we may never get a break in this case. While I was on duty, I came down here to this courthouse on Detective Bad's orders. As soon as I got here, he ordered me to stand guard in front of lobby number 2. From that time on until I heard the gunshot, I was in that hallway the whole time. My honor as a detective, I swear it wasn't me, pal.
He's still singing the same tired tune.
In that case, I'll just have to change the melody. I know he's lying, and it's time I pulled the information I need out of him. All right, rebuttal time while I was on duty. I came down here to this courthouse on Detective Bad's orders. And as soon as I got here, he ordered me to stand guard in front of lobby number 2. From that time on until I heard the gunshot, I was in that hallway the whole time. Hold it! You claim to have been in that hallway the whole time. However, is it not a fact that you did something while you were in that hallway? Of course I did something. I guarded the door to the lobby number 2, pal. What else? Very well then. And what exactly does guarding that door entail? Well, to put it simply, I know. It was my job to stand in front of the door without moving an inch. Oh? Detective Gumshoe, you mean to tell me that you didn't take a single step away from the door to lobby number 2? Is that really what you wish to testify to the effect of? You got it, pal. I didn't take a single step away from that door, just like I was ordered not to. Why is everyone so quiet all of a sudden? Because we are all in shock and in awe of your utter stupidity.
Scoffy, if you're going to lie, at least tell us a more believable one. Yeah.
Ouch! But I'm not lying. I should hurry up and bring this insipid testimony to a close. And until I heard the gunshot, I didn't take a single step away from the lobby number 2 door. Didn't he now? But you ordered some Swiss rolls, you idiot. Objection! I have an objection. What is it, pal? Detective Gumshoe, I wonder if you might recognize this from somewhere. Hey, it's one of those things. The courthouse special Swiss rolls, right, pal? Precisely. In that case, I suppose that you also recall the sullied hallway bench. Hey, you know what? I think it was probably me that did that. Detective Gumshoe, you know you can't go around dirtying up the courthouse like this.
You inconsiderate, slovenly pig. Yeah.
I promise to clean it up later, I swear. Now then, shall we get down to business? About the fact that you didn't move even a single step from in front of that door? If that really were the case, then how were you able to buy a pack of Swiss rolls?
First of all, if you didn't move a single step from in front of that door, how did you manage to get the bench dirty with your grubby hands? Here!
Ouch! It appears that Francisco's whip can do more damage than my words alone can. Alright, I confess, pal. I was hungry, so I bought a pack for myself, okay? I thought I'd get chewed out again if anyone found out about me eating on the job, so I didn't want to say anything. Well, unfortunately for you, I saw you do the whole dastardly deed. I clearly saw you buying a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine. Okay, I'm sorry for lying. But that's all I'm sorry for. You got that? Because I'm not holding anything else back.
That last statement may sound like it makes sense. However, there's something I don't quite believe about it.
Are you sure you're not withholding further information from us? Of course not. I got nothing else to hide, pal. Objection! Oh, if only that were true, Detective Gumshoe. But it is true, pal. I swear there's nothing else. Detective Gumshoe, I'm sure you are aware of the price of a pack of Swiss rolls, correct? Remind me again, pal.
That vending machine out in the hallway is selling packs of 2 Swiss rolls for $6 a pack.
And yet, according to you, you didn't have any cash on you until you cashed your $5 annual bonus check. Isn't that right? Let me ask then, how did you manage to purchase the pack all by yourself? Can you provide me with a proper explanation of that? Yeah, I told you I bought it by myself, pal. There wasn't anyone else in that hallway with me, so there's no one who could have helped me buy it. Wait, don't tell me. You got some kind of proof that there was someone else in the hallway, don't you? Correct. As if you could. I mean, what are the chances of that? Wait, you do? Of course I do. What? How?
What proof do I have? There must have been someone else in there in the hallway. The balloon.
Take that!
What the heck is that? I knew you didn't really have anything. You prosecutors are all the same, always lying to people. You should stop, you know. No, I refuse to be lectured by the likes of you, detective.
Miles, how long do you plan on being strung along by this moronic detective?
I have no intention of falling for his lie because there is definitely a second person. Because if he was truly alone all along, then that piece of evidence should not exist. What proof do I have that there must have been someone else there in a hallway? Wait, could it be this? No, not her.
Take that!
Hey, you showed that to me not 2 seconds ago, pal. I think you're under the mistaken impression that I bought this pack of rolls. Wait, if you didn't buy it, then that means you must have stolen it, you thief! Whoa, I would never do such a thing! All you liars are the same. You started out as thieves. You're under arrest, pal. So what happened in this case? Oh, so Blade King, thanks for joining the chat. So apparently, Bern Faraday and Mackerel are found dead in courtroom lobby number 2, and we're trying to figure it out for who did it. I believe you meant to assert that all thieves start out as liars. And in that case, what does that say about you, detective? We're also trying to figure out the KG8 incident thing, but this is like a case from 5 years ago. This particular Swiss roll was dropped by a certain someone. Oh, there were 2 rolls in this package. You ate one of them. But you then gave the other one to a certain other person, didn't you? No way, pal. You got it all wrong. I ate both of them. There she is. It would appear that we've caught you at last. Hey, don't you dare do anything bad to that girl. It would appear that they do know each other after all. So why don't you continue to come up to me and kick me? Have I wronged you somehow?
Kay.
Kay what?
Kay Faraday.
Faraday? Are you perhaps Mr. Faraday's daughter?
I'm not a you. I'm Kay.
Kay, you know, good little girls don't kick other people, especially not hard enough to leave big nasty bruises like the way you do.
Well, then you shouldn't have put Gummy under arrest, mister.
Gummy? My guess is that she's talking about Detective Gumshoe.
For the cute things you've given him.
Gummy didn't do anything wrong.
Okay. It appears that I will need to speak with her in a bit more detail.
Rah!
All right, let's talk to this girl. Now then, Kay.
She's like a stray cat.
I wonder if I should feed her something.
Take that!
Kay, I promise to give this to you if you calm down.
Oh, a Swiss roll.
It really belongs to you, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was saving it for Daddy.
Oh my! What? Daddy? Uh-oh. Your father. He's... don't you say another word, pal. She doesn't know yet.
Thanks for watching out for me, Gummy. But I already know about Daddy. I overheard the guards talking. About how Daddy's... he's not here anymore.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't protect him. Kay.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna...
It's all right. Let it all out. Your father just passed away, after all. I myself was also involved in a case at this courthouse when I was a young child. A case in which my father, who was a defense attorney, passed away. All of my dreams of becoming a lawyer were crushed into fine ash on that nightmarish day. The DL6 incident. Remember that case, folks? Even now, the wound festers deep in the depths of my soul. Ever since that incident, I've dedicated myself to locking away every criminal I can. And now, to have this happen right in front of me. This child, I feel a certain shared fate, a common bond between us.
Mile Edgeworth, what sort of gentleman are you? You're going to just stand there and watch a lady cry?
Ah, you're right. Sorry about that. Kay, here, how about we use this handkerchief here and dry your little eyes? No! My good God! Don't blow your nose on that!
I feel better now. Thanks.
Kay, are you gonna be all right?
Yep, I'm already alright.
Somehow, I highly doubt that, but I'm not gonna push it.
I promised Daddy I'd never cry in front of strangers.
And you're a good kid, aren't you, Kay? You always keep your promises, right?
That's right. Even if I can't see Daddy anymore, I'm still gonna keep all my promises.
You're a very brave girl, Kay.
You're a very good child for keeping the promises you made to your papa. I'll even testify that you didn't cry just for you.
Thank you very much, lady.
It's nothing. I'm only telling the truth after all.
You know, it would appear that because her father was a respected prosecutor, Francisca is sympathetic to Kay's feelings. All right, your father. Kay, what kind of person was your father?
Daddy was a hero of justice. His job was to catch all the bad people in the world.
So to you, a prosecutor is a hero of justice, huh? I suppose we are in a sense, as we are the ones who seek guilty verdicts for criminals.
Plus, you know what? Whenever I came to the courthouse, Daddy would buy me my absolute favorite treat, Swiss rolls.
Oh?
I want to be a hero of justice someday, just like Daddy. So I've been working really hard.
I see. And what have you been working hard on?
I've been working hard to keep all the promises Daddy and I made together.
A promise notebook? May I take a look inside, Kay?
Sure, okay.
It appears to be an exchange diary of sorts between father and daughter. Mr. Faraday's writing conveys a sense of the kind of man he was. This little notebook just might come in handy later.
Promise notebook dated jotted down on my organizer. Exchange diary between Mr. Faraday and Kay. Thank you for showing it to me, Kay. I hope you'll continue to work hard to become a hero just like your father.
I'm gonna try.
Hey, Kay, so I'm a detective that catches the bad people, right? That makes me a hero too.
Yeah, you're really cool too, Gummy.
Yeah, aren't I, Kay?
What is it with the two of them?
I hand down verdicts of justice, so that makes me a hero too.
Yes, yeah, and thanks to your also heroic testimony, you almost painted that detective as a violent criminal and sent him off to jail.
I'm really sorry about that.
Gummy is not a bad man, okay?
That poor judge. He's been treated like a vile criminal rather than a hero of justice. It appears that you and Detective Gumshoe are good friends, Kay.
Yeah, we're friends.
In that case, would you mind telling me a little more about him? Dick Gumshoe. So I take it that you ran into Detective Gumshoe earlier?
Yep. I was on my way to see Daddy when I saw Gummy standing there. He was standing in the hallway staring really hard at the vending machine, so I said hi.
And when was this?
Huh? Oh, before everything got crazy.
How long were the two of you together?
We only talked for a little while, and then we went our own ways.
That's right, pal. Kay and I only talked for a little while, and that's it. Oh, which means we have now confirmed that Kay was in the hallway during the recess. Isn't that right? Yeah, you got me.
I told you to stop picking on Gummy, mister.
Very well, then. I'll just have to speak with the good detective in private later. Swiss rolls. Were you the one who bought this pack of Swiss rolls, Kay?
Well, I didn't really have a lot of money, and I somehow made a dollar out of all the pennies and quarters I had. But that still wasn't enough, and I really, really wanted one.
Here we go. Come to think of it, she did come and ask me to exchange a handful of change for $1. And that's when you came and asked me to change your money, correct?
Yeah, thanks a bunch for doing that, mister.
Sure. But let me ask you, even with that $1, you still didn't have enough, correct?
Well, that's why...
Hey, if you bully Kay anymore, I'm gonna have to arrest you, pal.
Need I remind you that duty on already under arrest? Yeah!
Yeah! I sense that Kay is going to be less than forthcoming with this question.
Sorry about your roughly thing.
Yes, well, now that it's possibly drenched in your nasal mucus. Don't worry, Kay, I have a spare. So here, you can have this one.
But Daddy said, never take things from a stranger.
Ah, it's one of the promises you made in your promise notebook, correct?
Yeah, look, see? It's right here on this page.
Promise 1, never take things from a stranger. Never go anywhere with a stranger. All right then, I'm not giving this to you. I'm really allowing you to borrow it. You can take it home, wash it nice and clean, and then give it back to me next time we meet.
Okay, Daddy's never said I couldn't borrow things from strangers.
Now then, Detective Gumshoe. Uh-oh. I believe it is now crystal clear that you were with little Kay in that hallway.
I told you to stop being mean to Gummy.
Moment mal. Miles Edgeworth, There is still something you have yet to resolve.
I beg your pardon?
You still haven't offered an explanation for why that man would lie to us.
That's, well,
Gummy, don't tell me you lied for my sake.
hey, don't worry about it, Kay. Everything's gonna be okay.
So that's why.
So what was Detective Gumshoe's motive for lying? If you can't explain that, then you can't call this a perfect investigation.
His reason for lying is very simple.
What?
Here's what I believe to be his reason. From simple observation of the detective's actions and his interactions with Kay, it's obvious the detective was lying for the young girl's sake, and this piece of evidence will show you exactly why. Which piece of evidence proves that Detective Gumshoe was lying on account of Kay? Was it this?
Take that!
This is that piece of evidence.
What are you showing me that for? It doesn't seem to add anything to the conversation.
I don't get what you're trying to say with that, or you just like showing it off.
Are you gonna give that to me, mister?
I don't feel that the court needs to enter that into the court record at this time. Ugh. What is wrong with everyone? Why are they all teasing me all of a sudden? Although, it's possible that perhaps I made a mistake, and that's why. Now then, back to the topic at hand. Detective Gumshoe lied for Kay's sake, and I know I hold the evidence which shows the reason why. Now, which piece of evidence proves that Detective Gumshoe was lying on account of Kay?
Take that!
That?
Mr. Faraday and Kay's promised notebook? How does this explain anything?
If you could take a look at this page, it's clearly written that Kay should... Wait a minute. I missed something, didn't I? Never take things from a stranger. Never go anywhere with a stranger. Always greet people with a smile, even people you don't know. Never cry in front of strangers. Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. Daddy's job is to make sure that everyone follows the rules. Kay, be a good girl and promise that you'll keep your promises to me, okay? Love you, Dad. Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. How about that? If you could take a look at this page, it's clearly written that Kay should never take things from a stranger. When Detective Gumshoe heard about that promise, he tried to cover for Kay.
Such a foolish fool of a foolish reason for a fool. Yeah.
Yo!
Gummy, you lied because of me, didn't you?
Because I'm your friend, Kay, that's why.
Gummy!
At long last, Detective Gumshoe, can you please tell me the whole truth now? Guess there's no beating you, huh, pal? Okay, I'll spill the goods. I've been standing guard for a while. I was getting really hungry, and that snack vending machine was taunting me.
And all the cash you handed you was $5, and that wasn't enough to buy anything, right? After all, the cheapest item in that machine is a $6 pack of Swiss rolls.
Yeah, but then, like an angel from heaven... Kay showed up.
I was thinking about sharing a snack with Daddy, so I wanted to buy a Swiss roll, but I only had about $1 in coins.
So we pulled my $5 and her $1 together and bought a pack of Swiss rolls together.
But I was worried about breaking one of my promises, so then Gummy said,
Mr. Faraday's one scary guy when he gets mad, but don't worry, you won't get in trouble if I don't tell, right? Besides, you bought it with me, so you didn't really get it from me, you know.
he told me it'd be okay, and he gave me a whole roll to save and give to Daddy.
Who knew that Scoffy could be so considerate?
Indeed. Detective, I take it that you then sat down on the bench and ate the rolls together? Yeah, split the other roll and ate it right then. The sweet taste of that cake's chocolate. I'll never forget it as long as I live, pal. Anyway, Kay, I believe this also belongs to you.
Oh, that's
from the balloon I popped.
it's bad manners to leave garbage laying around, Kay.
I'm sorry.
Well, I guess I can't blame you for not throwing this one piece away. It was sitting high up on the windowsill where you couldn't see it. So just this once, I forgive you.
But that balloon, I wanted to surprise Gummy a little, so I popped it on purpose. And because of me, Gummy dropped his half of the Swiss roll.
Well, you really got me there. You really got me there, pal.
So I thought maybe I should give Gummy this other role. And then I saw you picking on Gummy, mister.
So you kicked me, is that it?
You sure are a feisty one.
I'm really sorry, mister.
It's all right. I'm perfectly unharmed. But about this Swiss roll, would it be all right with you if I held onto it until Detective Gumshoe is cleared of all charges and free to go?
Yeah, sure. Just make sure you give it to Gummy afterwards, okay?
Of course, I promise. Now then, I believe you have proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway for the entire duration of his duty, which undeniably proves that Detective Gumshoe could not have committed the double murders.
Objection. Actually, it proves just the opposite, Edgeworth. You've just shown that Detective Gumshoe is the only one who could have committed the crime.
Well, what do you mean?
It's quite hard to eavesdrop, Miss Yu.
I'm getting lectured on manners by a girl with a penchant for whipping people.
What? How dare you talk back with such insolence?
You're wrong, Lee. Gummy's not the bad guy. Oh, and what have we here? What is a child doing here in a courthouse? Bailiff, please take this child away.
Miss Callisto, you! That girl is Mr. Faraday's...
I know, so what? You think that just because she's the victim's daughter, she gets to just run wild all around the crime scene? I think it's actually quite dangerous for her, to speak nothing of getting underfoot.
I suppose you're right. However, as long as
we're in agreement on that point, let's get back to the real issue at hand. Now then, Detective, you were in front of the door to lobby number 2 the entire time, correct?
Yeah, but...
You see? Isn't it obvious that it could only be the detective? He is the only person who could have gone into lobby number 2 at the time of the murders.
I have no counter-argument to that.
Don't worry. I've already put in the necessary paperwork for his formal arrest.
But the investigation is far from over.
Oh, that's right. I was going to speak with you about that. Don't you think it's reckless to talk to the suspect out in the open without a guard?
I suppose it is.
Well, as someone with more experience in law than you, allow me to share something. Always keep a good eye on a criminal, or you may regret what comes of your negligence.
Oh, Miles, I can't believe you're letting this woman lecture you like this. This is unforgivable as a disciple of Von Karma.
Down, Tigress. Now then, I'll be looking forward to the results of your investigation.
So, we're back to square one.
Actually, this is our last chance. I can tell that if we fail to solve this case, Detective Gumshoe will be formally charged under all the circumstances. Detective Gumshoe will be formally charged under all of the circumstantial evidence. This investigation is not over yet. There's still one location we have yet to inspect. It's where Detective Bad and Miss Yu were at the time of the crime. Lobby number 1. To be continued. Oh boy. I think I went a little bit too long there, folks, so I am going to save and I'm going to get out of here. All right. So when we come back, we're going to learn ladder, the truth behind the KG-8 incident. That said, we're going to go back to the intermission here. Folks, I want to thank you so much for sticking around this whole time. Special thanks to Blade King. Special thanks to Flying Eagle for the raid of 7. That is so awesome of you for that. We appreciate that very much. Tune in next week when we investigate the truth behind the KGA incident as we continue and possibly conclude Turnabout, Reminiscence. And I believe that my brother and I will be in this together. Until then, I am the Package Angel Steel, and I am for real.
Adios, muchacho.